Oh my God. Look at his balls. They are so big. He must be one of those gamer guys. Like, who understands them anyway?
I say, what? Balls! Who's got the balls? I got the balls. Big, big, big balls. Who's got the balls? I got the balls. The big, big, big balls. The balls. Who got the balls? I got the balls. The big, big, big balls. Balls. Who got the balls? I got the balls. The big, big, big balls. Balls. Who's got them balls? I got them balls. Big, big balls. Who's got them balls? I got the balls. Big balls. Balls. Big, big balls.
Well, let me just introduce you to my balls here, okay? The right one's Chuck, and the left one's Norris.
This song is all about my balls. They big, the opposite of smalls. I see my balls be bouncing left and right. My balls be owning you tonight.
Who got the balls? I got the balls.
Big balls.
Who got the balls? I got the balls. Big, big, big balls.
Balls.
Who got them balls? I got them balls. Big, big, big balls. Who's got them balls? I got them balls.
Big, big, big balls. Balls. Big motherfucking balls.
Let me just tell you a quick story about my balls, okay? They're big, they're round, and they're big.
Big, big balls. Balls.
My balls need some sucking. My balls need licking. My balls be swinging. My balls need some sucking. My balls need licking. My balls be swinging, swinging. Balls be swinging. My balls need legend, no imitation. My balls need two wheelbarrows for transportation.
Balls.
My balls be jive. My balls be enormous. My balls waving in the air. My balls, like they just don't care. Elephants be all like, damn, them six balls. My balls, my balls, my balls. My balls be huge. My balls be Angus. My balls, my balls.
Balls.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGT, and that was My Balls by the Pure Ownage Gang. We had a little technical difficulty. Apparently, StreamYards decided that it was going live, but YouTube said, we're not going live just yet. And I'm joined once again by the man who's got to keep his balls in the hammock because they are that big. What's up, Banana Hammock Man?
Oh, not much. Ready to dive back into more of this good documentary. I've gotten another hour or so into it. So I'm about past the 2 hour mark. So I'm pacing right along. Still good. Still going good.
56K warning says we better not start with Amico talk right away. He wants to know about Hammock Man and his.
Oh, Jesus. Oh my God! It was great. I'm not going to go into too good of details, but yes, it was.
It was the best 5 minutes of Mrs. Hammock Man's life.
Oh yeah, exactly.
176 games. My Famicoms. Not sure what you're trying to say, Tommy. Pong's at the casino. Look at this. At the casino. He's telling people about the Amico at the casino.
Wow.
You wouldn't have to go to the casino if the Amico was real. You could just play blackjack and dice rolling and Farkle. Yeah. You ever watch National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you remember the part where cousin Eddie takes him to the like the special casino? He's like, this casino's got
Yeah.
games. I want to go to that casino where they're like,
Yeah,
rock,
exactly.
paper, scissors. Guess what hand the coins in?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be good.
Pong says NBA Suns or Clippers.
Hawks. Pong show. Atlanta Hawks, baby.
Hopefully, Pong show does not take that as gambling advice. 12er wizard. No. We're not telling you.
He's asking. Is that what he's doing? Then I'd go Suns, dude. If you're Suns, but no. Well, yeah, we're not telling you what to do, but I would take the Suns.
This is not gambling advice.
Yes.
What's up, 1-inch bicep? So we're going to be going over some more of the DJ Slopes video. We got 46 minutes in last time. Like Hammock Man said, he watched another hour, so we can make it up to the 2-hour mark and still be good. I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
Not at the pace that we usually work at. So your thoughts now? You've watched 2 hours of it, Hammy. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, it's still good. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I did, the part with the when he was trying on the stuff. I did that. You're right. That did kind of slow it down a little bit. I just skipped through that because I just wanted to get right back into the action. But I want to make that known. Like, we're nitpicking things and stuff here, but I still really enjoy it. But we're just giving our little critiques on it. But I'm really enjoying it. What I'm watching.
1-inch bicep says he watched a full 4 hours. Yeah, I watched it twice. Plus, I'm watching the watch along. I think it's fantastic. It is great. I understand where the cuts were made and why they were made. Being in the thick of it, we're always like, "Oh, this should have been more important," or "You should have focused on this," because we were there, right? But like I said yesterday, normal people don't care that Turbo Joe was reading crazy emails, right? Normal people are not going to care that I was, the ANA. And I was making fun of, OEB Pete. They're just not going to care. It's not going to be entertaining to them. It'll be entertaining to the 17 of you guys, right? And the people who actually were there for it. But for the vast majority, they're not going to care.
Maybe one day they can make a...
Today, Hammock Man, I hear you drinking over there.
Oh, a Dr. Pepper. It's always Dr. Pepper.
I'm a pepper, you're a pepper.
That's right.
That sounds.
Oh, is that a monster?
That is a Ultra Fiesta Mango monster.
Ooh. How fancy.
It is. I love, absolutely love mango flavored candy, drinks. But I can't stand mangoes. If you gave me a mango and you're like, here's some mango, eat mango.
Really?
Can't stand it. Pong Show says, Tony, I watched your interview with Tommy last night. It came on after you and Hammock. It was epic. Well, thank you. I think it's a little rough. Everybody says how it was one of the better interviews. To critique myself, at the beginning, it was really like we're butting heads, and at the end, we're really butting heads. But there's a section in the middle where I also got suckered in by Tommy. Right? If you watch it, you could see the moment when Tommy's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have South American developers," and I'm like, "Okay, oh shit, this sounds fantastic. We're getting indie developers from Brazil and stuff." I'm like, "Oh, I'm right there with Tommy." I didn't call him on any of that bullshit because you don't think, right? You're like, "There's no way somebody could be that full of it," right?
Right. Don't be hard on yourself, dude. You were like the only one. Like even in Slopes' video, he's talking like how you were the one that was pushing back while all these other people were giving softball interviews. So, but yeah, how would you know? Like, why would you think every little thing that he's saying is bullshit? Which it is.
In another multiverse, Tony would have been in the cult. Yeah. All it took was there's a moment in the video, like in Marvel What If, where like they show like, well, what if, the Venom symbiote went left instead of right, and then it ends up on someone else, right? Well, there's a moment in that interview where Tommy goes, "Tony, can we be friends? Can we?" And in another universe, I said, "Yes, Tommy. Yes, we can be friends. We don't have to be enemies." And then I joined the cult.
Yeah.
Tony made Tommy stutter about his industry friends. Yeah. Top Loaded did push back too. He had an interview
Did he?
after. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see any of those, so.
His was good too because when Top Loaded, there was more information out. So Top Loaded like called him on his bullshit, and then he went back over his thing. He's like, wait a minute. He's like, he told these guys that they can't have Contra. Then he told me they could have Contra. He's like, what the fuck?
Well, was his after yours?
Yeah.
Well, see, there you go. I mean, that maybe he watched yours and then started to think too, like, hey, I can push back as well. I mean, I would assume you were probably the first one pushing back.
Yeah, but like I said, when I pushed back, I had like 50 subs. Top Loaded was way bigger than me.
That's true.
I think I want to say after that interview, maybe there was like 700 views on that video total, like for the longest time. So yeah, your mom pushed back last night, Trebek. Ooh, got him. Is that the universe where I married Saggy Melons? Could be.
Oh God.
All right, we've rambled on enough. We've got everybody all nice and moist. Everybody's all ready. Now let's do the deed. Let's do the nasty. We're at E3, where the Electric Playground Network here is going over. I just said in the previous video or in the previous live stream how it was my understanding from hearing John Hancock and people talk about that it wasn't actually a real Amico that was there. It was like a bunch of wires and cables and
yeah.
So let's see how this documentary goes.
Console, there were controllers,
It's a little loud.
there was connectivity between smartphones and the Intellivision Amico. I was very impressed.
Yeah. Also, I gotta speed it up. See, we're not even prepared.
And if that's not enough praise for you, YouTuber Metal Jesus Rock's got to play it too.
That's the Amico I wanted. The one that Metal Jesus tweeted about. Look how purpley it is.
Yes, it's real. We played several games on it and we gave them feedback.
And in an interview with
Let's go back 5 seconds. Come on.
Metal Jesus,
That one right there. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. It's so
Oh
shiny.
yeah. That's a much better one. Yeah.
And then when they actually made the purple ones, it was so nasty and flat.
Yeah.
Bait and switch. I would have been pissed if I had put down a pre-order for a purple Amico based on this image and then got the one that they showed off later on. I'd have been like, fuck.
Oh yeah. You know people did too. Oh, look how sweet that purple one is.
Yeah. Tony and the Colt and Tommy O doing Saggy that cannot be allowed to exist. I played it. It's real. It's not a scam, at least not in my eyes.
Jesus Rock's got to play it too.
Yes, it's real. We played several games on it and we gave them feedback.
And in an interview with the Tech It Out podcast, it was doubly confirmed that Intellivision has the following licenses.
Burger Time to the Missile Command and Moon Patrol.
However, sadly, it was also confirmed that the, as he puts it,
at least 7 free pack-in games
has now gone down to 5.
It's going to launch with 40 games, and it's going to have 5 games packed in.
Also, before going ahead, let's actually jump forward and talk about Burger Time, which, by the way, we never, ever got to see any footage of, ever. Because later that year, one of the Atari Age posters joked that Tommy was vegan and was releasing a Burger Time game. And because of this, it turns out that Burger Time is becoming Beyond Burger Time. And finally, it wouldn't be like the Switch version, which, by the way, me and my family actually really like to play.
What's funny about Tommy saying it was going to be Beyond Burger Time? Are we assuming that again? Tommy's going to go out and get the license from Beyond Burger? Because that's not like a, it's not like an apple. Or a pear or even a hamburger, right? Beyond Burger is a brand.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just slap Beyond Burger on things and call it a day. It's a brand. It's like McDonald's. It's like saying, hey, we're going to have a McDonald's Burger Time or a Burger King Burger Time. Tommy's got connections with everybody.
Yes, he does.
Instead, it would be made from scratch. Over in Europe, Hans, who had now publicly been addressed as the CEO of Intellivision Europe.
This right here, and this is one of the things that me and Tommy argued about. So in the original press release for Hans joining the company, they said that Hans was still the president of Computech. Computech is the big European magazine conglomerate that basically had like a whole bunch of gaming magazines and other things. It was like gaming, computer, but all the magazine industry for gaming was through this company, right? And Hans was the president. And then he joined in television, but he was still the president in both positions, according to the press release from Intellivision. And when I talked about that, right, Tommy said, well, he's not the president no more. He stepped down from Computech. I said, Tommy, your press release says he's the president of Computech. There was a 1 month overlap, right? I was like, because my point was, well, how could this guy be the president of Computech that's in charge of all these gaming magazines and serve as the president of European operations for Amico, a video game company? So isn't that a conflict of interest, right? Because there's no way that, like, it'd be like if I was the head of EGM, right, Electronic Gaming Monthly, and running a company. Like, now my magazine cannot cover my company because conflict of interest, right? Of course, Tommy didn't see that.
That's crazy. Oh, of course not.
Yeah. And I think that's the whole reason that they hired Hans. I think that Tommy thought, well, I'll hire this guy who's in charge of all these gaming magazines, and then now all the European gaming magazines are going to give us good reviews because they don't want to get on Hans's bad side.
He probably did. That is crazy to think like that, but he probably did.
Because I mean, it came out of nowhere. Like, why would you go and like, okay, this guy, I'm sure Hans is a nice guy, right? I'm sure he's a smart, but like, it wasn't like a you know, when he goes and get Perrin Kaplan, like, oh yeah, well, because she did marketing for that, right? Oh, he went and got fucking what's his name, Jay Allard, right? Because he's the Xbox guy. Like, we got Hans, the German guy, right? It's like, what was the reason? There's always a reason for hiring people.
Hans Ippich.
And we know that Hans had connections to the gaming industry and to the Bjorn, which is, it doesn't get mentioned here, but Hans actually had connections to that grant company or that grant foundation, wherever the hell it is, that gave the grants to the Amico.
Yes.
So for those two reasons, I'm sure that was like, hell yeah, the guy's got connections to the magazine, he's going to get us good reviews, and he's got connections to the grant that's going to get us free money. Hire him, make him European president, give him a salary.
Mm-hmm. That's all it was. That's all it was.
That's all it was. Because what did he do other than stand in front of some like warehouse in Poland where they like made the fucking boxed editions?
That the company will publish one of the games from the Franken Game Jam event. Although, from my research, nothing had ever come from this. Back over on the Atari Age forums, Tommy is going into meltdown mode as he replies to every single post that's come up that has even the slightest bit of criticism towards the Amico. One person politely questions why teen-rated games are being removed.
The fact
Adam Wilson says, is there a tally somewhere counting all the things Tommy said that never came? Yeah, on the side of the screen. On the right side of Slopes' video is all the things Tommy said. On the left side is all the games. Hey, what's up, Rabbit Dude? Well, he went to Egypt. That's right. Hans also went on vacation quite regularly. And little known fact, the family in the Amico presentation, you know, the ones that are throwing the bean bags or whatever, it's got like two boys and like two girls. That's Hans's kids and their girlfriends.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah.
The fact that these words came out of your mouth goes to show you how little you know about the video game industry as a whole. No sense in trying to have an intelligent discussion with someone who is convinced and thinks they know so much, yet knows so little.
Online multiplayer, that's been removed, by the way. This was brought up by another user who said that it is unacceptable in 2022 to...
That's Sega Snatcher. Shout out to Sega Snatcher. He often gave us information. One of the things, I want to address something while we're here. Because there's a misconception as to why I was upset with the H Bomberman video. Bomber guy, H Bomber Guy video. Well, I was upset with the Pat and Ian video. H Bomber Guy said, he went out and said, 100% confirmed. This is not a guess. This is not me speculating. He went out and said, I did not cover certain things in the Tommy Talarico story because that would highlight certain people whose politics I do not agree with. So for political reasons, he removed parts of the story or changed or went out of his way to try to find other sources because he didn't want certain people getting their due. And Pat and Ian did the exact same thing.
It's funny how that usually comes from one side.
Yeah. With that said, the other thing I want to address is there's a lot of people that said, well, Tony's always wants credit. He's mad that he don't get credit. He don't give credit to other people. He don't give credit. Well, spoiler alert. If you go back to my videos, if you watch them, if I get something from Reddit, I go, hey, I got this from Reddit. Here's the guy on Reddit. I read the guy's name. Now, a lot of times people would send me stuff and they go, you do not need to credit me. I would say, hey, do you want credit for this? No, don't worry about it. Right. And that's why I didn't credit them, because they didn't want the attention. They didn't want the credit. Right. If now later on they turn around and go, hey, I want the credit that you didn't give me years ago, or because it's been years now. Right. I'll go back and change it if that's what you want. Right. But if I didn't give you credit at the time, there's a reason for it. And it's because either you told me you didn't want credit, or because when I asked you, you said you didn't want credit, right?
Why do you rub people so much the wrong way, Tony? I like you. You and I get along. I don't know what it is.
It's because I am blunt. I am who I am. People like to read things into the way I speak or the way I talk or what I say. I do not say, I don't imply things. I don't say things with a double meaning. I'm not being sneaky. When I say a thing, that's what I mean. I mean the things that I say.
Right.
Anyway, what a leftist nut job worse than alt-right people? No, they're about the same. Alt-right, control.
No, they're about this. Yeah, they're the same.
You guys are conservative types that I can agree and get along with. Yeah. We're not bad. I'm probably like I said, I'm center right.
Me
I'm
too.
not crazy. I'm not like, I don't try to put my beliefs on other people. I don't say, hey, you got to think the way I think.
All the crazy religious parts of the right, I don't follow. So,
yeah.
Just the freedom of speech.
This is another problem too. People take Tony's sarcasm as fact. Yeah. Apparently, like, some people can't tell when I'm being sarcastic, even though I'm like, I think, at least in my brain, I think I'm being over the top enough that people are like, oh, they can understand that that's sarcasm. Two, for some reason, because I say I'm a journalist, I have to be a journalist 24/7. Like, when I wake up, I'm a journalist. When I take a shit, I'm a journalist. I'm eating, I'm a journalist. Make a video, I'm a journalist. Right? Like, guys, I can have fun. I can do other things, right? Like, this is not a serious journalistic thing that I'm doing right now, right? This is just me live streaming, talking about a video, hanging out with Hammock, shooting the shit. Right? It's not journalistic here. Right? If I sit down and I make a video about a topic, journalistic. Got it. No problem. Right? But when I'm on a live stream, or I'm hanging out with Evil, or I'm joking, that's not journalistic. Make Amico great again? Yeah. It was never great. It has to be great first.
MAGA.
Great again, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't great yet. All right. Now that we've gotten that cleared, then I'm sure no one's gonna get. It's 24 minutes in, so no one's gonna hear this part of the video anyway. You guys have all checked out after 10.
To release a console without that feature, to which Tommy responded,
Sorry, guy, but the only one who is out of touch is you. There is no getting through to someone as opinionated and narrow-minded as yourself.
These are just a few of the kickoffs from Tommy when people criticize his console. And don't worry, I'm not going to be reading out every miserable moan. On to brighter things, I say, as Intellivision opens up its Dubai office and teases a Japanese office is coming too, and then confirms that a bokball, pretty sure that's how you say it, a bokball game is...
Bocce.
Yeah, it's so many people in the comments are like, it's bocce. I almost think that this is like YouTubers do this, right? I've noticed this. They will make the
To
most
get comments.
obvious, to get comments. They'll make the most obvious mistake. So I don't know. I got to ask him. I'm sure he's not going to tell me publicly, but he might tell me privately and say, "Hey, did you really not know how to say bocce? Because it's not that hard to look things up, right? Did you really think it was bach ball? Bocce is fun, though. I'll tell you that much.
Is in development. The next day, Tommy confirms the amount of employees he has working on the system.
They have an amazing team. They have over 300 people.
Again, this is for a system that is well over a year away from release. The mind boggles at the overhead of 300 paychecks per month.
I don't think he ever had 300 people. I think, again,
Nah.
in Tommy's mind, right? So if Tommy hires Hammock Man Games, right? Hammock Man Game Studios is going to make his Bach Ball game, right? And Hammock Man Game Studios has 10 employees. I think Tommy counts all 10 employees as working for Intellivision. Yeah, we got the studio, we hired them, right? Because that's how he always took credit for the employees that worked for him, right? Remember, like Tommy Talarico Studios, and everyone who worked for him, that was his credit. And I think he does the same thing. Like, oh, all those people work for me because I hired that company. You know.
Yeah, he definitely does that.
So I don't think they ever actually had 300 actual paid by Intellivision hourly employees.
That's a fuckload of money because everybody's got to be making it at minimum 50 grand, you know, at minimum. Probably no one's making under that. 300, that's fucked up.
When you write a book, journalistic weight. yeah. When I write a book, sometimes it's a joke. Imagine being a journalist on YouTube. It's hard. It's hard out here for a pimp. My buddy Pete does it. Pete Pishke. He's been on the show a couple times. He just got an interview with Ethan Van Sciver. So if you're interested in Comic State, go check that one out. But not until after this video. Don't go now. Like after the video.
Yeah, later.
Joey, it's always Joey. Yeah, he hired Joey. It's like 300 Joeys.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst he continues to kick off on Atari Age at the same user who is questioning the Amico, but this time he's getting personal.
Leave my thread or I'll have you removed. Staying at this point is just an act of cyberbullying, which I'm pretty sure is against forum rules.
This right here was so telling when Tommy told him to leave my thread or I'll have you removed. How do you have someone removed? What's worse is, see, DJ Slopes, however you want to call him, Dan, he picked some good quotes, but he also missed some really good Tommyisms. There's a quote from Tommy, and I don't know the exact quote, but it's basically, I'm being harassed. I'm taking my ball and going home unless something's done about it. I will leave the forums. And then there's a bunch of people going, no, Tommy, don't go. Don't leave, Tommy. Tommy, don't leave. Stay. We want you around here, Tommy. And so basically it was like Tommy throwing a temper tantrum to get his way. And so I think it was to have someone remove. It might even be part of this bigger thread.
Leave or be removed. Up to you.
That user would eventually be banned.
Let me see. No, it's not part of this one. It's part of a different.
But don't be all upset because on the same day he confirms that Pac-Man Versus, Lock and Chase, Joust, Robotron, Defender, and Gauntlet are all coming to the Amico. Now that's how you please the crowd. Go get them on the list. He also confirms that 4 of these games are currently being worked on. Of course, we know that Tron is one of them. Who knows what the other 3 are? Regardless, he later confirms that Epic's games are also on the way and that a new trailer will drop on the 19th of August, which doesn't happen.
Yeah, they never explained that. Why the August 19th trailer never happened. It was just weird.
I thought he said something later in the video that it was because he was waiting because something else came up, like some convention or something.
No, he's going to say in a little
play
while.
it. We'll see.
He is going to say in a little while about Gamescom, but that's not why. They never made an official. It just doesn't happen.
I think he speculates that that's why they waited or something.
Yeah. Oh, Tommy O's coming in hot. He says, lately I've been thinking about how we all promote scams because many of the ads that are played on YouTube are for obvious scams. Like some of them are phishing, social security numbers and stuff. I don't know. I don't partake in that. I don't watch ads. I do plan on getting through the entire 4-hour video eventually.
Eventually.
Hey, Rich has
Our
broken
12
this up into like 3 streams already, so we're not the only ones who do this.
12-part series.
Yeah.
Whatever. The most important thing to come from this day is that Intellivision announced that they have just got themselves a grant for 450,000 euros. So, what's going on here then? Well, basically, the FFF Bayern is a funding partner to the film and games industry, offering up grants, and in this case, to the tune of 450,000 euros for several games we worked on in Germany for this system.
With 10 years of successful games promotion in Bavaria, we are setting new standards. We realized early on that games are more than just a pastime. With the support of the digital ministry, the FFF is now supporting 13 projects again. Approximately 880,000 euros flow into the development of high-quality and non-violent computer games from Bavaria. This is a clear commitment to the innovative games industry in the Free State.
Now, anyone that's actually followed any gaming news over the years will instantly tell you how important censorship and all-around non-violent video games are to the German market. And because of this, Tommy was easily able to tickle their fancy, and basically, out of the 13 games and 880,000 euros, Intellivision got 450,000 to work on Pong, Moon Patrol, Shark, and skiing, and as you will soon discover, a fair bit more too. Hate on Intellivision and Tommy all you want, but this was such a wise, sly move for the company.
And again, this would have been really nice if he would have mentioned Hans's connection to FFF Bayern.
Yes. Yeah, this would have been a perfect segue for that.
Yeah. If you ever see YouTube, if you ever see the YouTube, as you will see them promising they can give extra government benefits to elderly people. There's also one for phone charges that claim to fix your phone and things like that. I've actually never watched YouTube ads.
I've never seen ads like that, but I always skip them, so I don't really pay attention.
I always just have YouTube Premium because I'm not a peasant. You know.
I should probably I had it for a while, but then I stopped. I was like trying to cut out certain bills. I'll get it again probably at some point.
Okay. So on the r/Intellivision_Amico, there's at least 2 different threads about FFF Bayern and the Hans Ippisch connection. So look into that if you have the time.
Now, Intellivision doesn't have to pay for at least 4 games, some of which are the packing games. Heck, if the system never comes out, well, from what I've read online, it doesn't matter. The money still went to German developers, so everyone's happy for now. And I'm sure this was also why Tommy and Hans were so willing to publish a video game from that German Game Jam thing too, right? Duh. Plus, in a post made the following year on Atari Age, it seems they still had money left over to inject into other German-based game studios for even more games.
If they are German-based, then that is great. We have government funds that we could dedicate immediately.
I bet you do, Tommy, old pal. I bet you do. Oh, sorry, did. I bet you did. Besides all of
Robbie JVC says YouTube Revanced equals free YouTube Premium. I thought they got rid of Revanced. YouTube Premium is probably worth it. It is. Also,
it is definitely worth it.
So people know, so people understand. YouTube Premium, it blocks ads. You don't get any ads. However, when you watch videos from your favorite content creators, like, I don't know, a certain Geek Getaway, we still get ad revenue from your YouTube Premium subscription. Yeah. So you can support your favorite creators, like, I don't know, the Geek Getaway, by getting YouTube Premium and watching our videos. If you do not want to support those scammy ads like Tommy Lee Amico was talking about. Hashtag not a sponsor. Susan got fired. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do now? Our biggest supporter is no longer the head of YouTube. Man.
Oh, did she left? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she stepped down today, earlier. Susan Wojcicki, gone.
I had not heard that. Susan Wojcicki?
Yeah, Auntie Susu, gone.
Oh, wow.
The guy that is doing Tommy's voice is perfect. Well, that's Joey Freeze. He did the call-ins for CU Podcast.
Yeah. It is very good.
We enter August, we get a couple of new employees join the company. You can never have too many of those. Yeah.
Todd Lithicum, he was the guy who helped design the Amico. He basically got him from another company and brought him over. Why? I don't know. Again, the guy's whole career, his what the hell they call that shit? You know, resume. His whole resume.
No.
Todd's whole resume was basically like he worked at a place designing stuff. Like there's no reason he should have been hired at Intellivision. Like he had nothing on his job resume for skills that would have been applicable to a video game company.
Have more kicking off at people that disagree over on Atari Age. Tommy asks Twitter to find him a highly skilled and experienced firmware engineer and offers up a $2,500 reward to the person that finds them. That person's never found. He also confirms that the Jay-Z INTV emulator will be on the Amico system too. I know it's...
I'm pretty sure the guy who did the Jay-Z Intellivision emulator, I'm pretty sure at one point he said no, that it wasn't going to be on the Amico, that Tommy was lying. Pretty sure there's a post on Atari.
Not surprising.
I think someone just asked about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have the Jay-Z on there."
It's just an emulator. Hey, we can add it to the list, right? Sure, why not? Oh, and whilst you got the list open, it's time to add a whole lot more. Big.
Also, before I forget, because it just popped into my head, there was on Atari Age. There's obviously a lot of fans of Intellivision. They would hold like every year like an Intellivision. I won't call it a meetup, but like something like Intellivision Fest or whatever, right? Like, and they would have shirts made up. You know, Tommy being the good guy that he is, what do you think he did, Hammock Man?
I don't know. Let's hear it.
Oh, he had those shirts removed. He said that they were infringing on their copyright and that they weren't allowed to sell them. Instead of saying, "Hey," instead of just saying, "Hey, you know what? I'll give you the license," or give me a small fee, a nominal fee, and I'll give you the license for cheap, and then you can sell your shirts for the the little event. Because it was just like this little 50-person thing. It wasn't like this huge fucking E3, right? It was just like this little thing, maybe like 30 shirts were gonna get sold or some shit. But instead of Tommy, doing the good thing for the community and saying, "Hey guys, don't worry about it," we're gonna turn our heads. We'll look the other way, or I'll grant you the license for this one event, and then next year just don't do it again or whatever, right? No, he basically said, "Hey, you can't sell them. Sorry, the lawyers won't let me. I'm the CEO of the company, but the lawyers won't let me grant you a license." What happened to the guy who photoshopped the Amico content daily on Atari Age? I don't know. He disappeared. He has a job photoshopping things. That's like a side job he does. You could find his work on Instagram. And apparently, according to him, he would put those photoshops on Atari Age, and then Tommy took those and used them for advertising without actually paying or commissioning the guy or anything. He just took it and was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Let me use that." So,
God.
That's the Tommy way.
Yeah, it is.
Because today's the day the Amico fans get the Gamescom trailer. Yeah, this is the reason the trailer was delayed slightly. Gamescom. It's the usual spiel explaining how controls are getting confusing.
And like I said, he says that's the reason, but I don't think Tommy ever said, and I don't think there's ever like a post. It lines up, right?
Makes sense, right?
And
But he
what
never
might have
said
happened,
it officially.
maybe what I was going to say was maybe Tommy accidentally put the 17th and he meant the 19th because of Gamescom. And then he's just Tommy and he just doesn't own up to his mistakes.
Yeah. Just pretends like it never happened.
It never happened.
People don't play in the same room as one another, blah, blah, blah. But most importantly, we do get to see the system itself. It's real. It exists. Here it is.
It's real.
And it's coming out on 10/10/2020.
It's real.
And as for the games themselves, we get lots of quick glances. At Moon Patrol, Biplanes, Night Stalker, a Running Man game.
That's not a game. That's not a game. See, this is one of those nitpicks that I'm going to take to the grave. Tommy came out later on and said, this is not a game. It never was a game. It was a computer animation. That was it. Because people were asking about this. They're like, oh my God, that looks so good. Like it's like a 3D almost. It's like 2.5D. It was one of those endless runners, they thought, right? And eventually Tommy had to be like, no, guys, this is not a game. It didn't exist.
Missile Command, Asteroid, Sideswipers, Armor Battle, aka Battle Tanks, Astro Smash, Shark, Breakout, a Clown Cannon.
That's never seen again. Never.
Game thing, Backtalk, Snafu, Cats with Swords.
That doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not a real game. We looked into it. Doesn't exist. Not real. Not a real game. It was a proposed game by a indie developer that put it on Facebook. This little thing was on Facebook. Tommy got a hold of this somehow. Whether they downloaded it off Facebook, just stole it. I don't think he ever contacted the developers. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he never actually had permission to use this, in my professional opinion.
That's so shady. So shady.
Because that's all that existed that. Because as you can see, Assassin Kitty and General Meow, these are called
General
memes.
Meow.
These are memes because this is a meme about there's a cat. I think it was called like Colonel Meow. And Assassin Kitty is the Assassin's Creed cat. They're both memes. It was a meme game. It never came out. It never existed. It was proposed, shown off on Facebook. I don't know how Tommy got a hold of it, but he did. It was also a swipe. It was a single swipe game because it was supposed to be for the phone. And it was supposed to be like, I don't know if you ever remember Bushido Blade. It was like one hit killed your guy. And it was all about timing it. Like, well, if you miss and then the guy hits you, that's it. You're fucking dead. It was the same thing. It was supposed to be a single swipe. And it was all about timing. Like if you made contact, you won. If the other guy made contact, he won.
Auto racing and this.
That auto racing, again, was never shown again. After they got the other racing game,
I was going to say.
The auto racing one disappeared.
A game that would eventually be known as Dolphin Quest, a video game being worked on by the original Echo the Dolphin creator, Ed Annunziata. Now, obviously, you are not going to be surprised to hear that a fair few of these games we never got to see again. That Running Man game thing, never got to see that again. The Clown Cannon thing, never got to see that again. And just to make things easier for you, yes, I have gone forward in time here a little bit and actually found out the names of these games, and we're getting them added to the list. We also got confirmation that every game is running in 60 frames per second. Tommy hints at a Berserk remake, a co-op Miss Pac-Man game, and finally confirms that the system can run at 4K.
4K, guys. The Amico was going to output 4K.
Sounds good to say that, but
However, the games will not be made in 4K to save on space. Then, right at the end of August, Tommy makes one of his biggest mistakes to date. Remember, Pat and Ian from the CU podcast had their concerns, but overall, they seem to still talk quite positively of both Tommy and the Amico itself.
I don't think there's anything wrong with making a console that appeals to family. I don't think there's anything wrong about making a console that wants to be multiplayer focused. I don't think there's anything wrong about it having its exclusives or having the games cheap or anything like that. I just don't see the market for it.
I really don't want to be right on this one, but I have to go with my gut when it comes to this. That's the only thing. And that's what I'm going to end it at. Like I said, I wish him luck. I don't want it to fail, but if it fails, there's going to be a lot of people out of money. There's going to be a lot of people that bought this potentially that they're going to get their month or two of fun. They're going to get a handful of games that come with it. It's packed with 5 games, 5 of these remakes. Then at that point, what do you have left?
We didn't even get that. We didn't even get the month or two of fun. Pat was wrong. See, Pat was wrong. He thought the Amico was going to come out. And
oh my God.
Amico never came out. How can you trust anything Pat says? Hey, what's up, Gary? Gary says he'll be in a second. He just got off of work. Gary don't work. Why is he?
Gary.
When television lies saying it has 600 years experience, unless 600 years of experience is competence. Well, yeah, they got experience. It's a pulled together all their time. The Amico's taken, 5 years? So that's 5 times 300 employees. That's 1,500 more years of experience right there. The longer this goes, the more experience they get.
It just keeps racking up.
Yeah. Amico can do 4K with the RK 3588. Tommy's like, it'll be an 8K.
Well, off the back of this, Tommy went on a rant on Atari Age claiming that the duo were not fair due to getting specific information such as the price wrong, and therefore they didn't know what
I love this right here.
they were talking about.
They were not fair, and yes, they were unreasonable because they once again gave out wrong information about the machine. Instead, they based their opinions on assumptions. Lazy! But what really makes them unreasonable is the fact that they refuse to speak with me on or off air so I can clear up the wrong information they have been giving out. They are unwilling to find out more information from the source in order to correct themselves. That is very unreasonable. They are not being fair. Being fair would be letting me discuss the wrong info they are giving out to people on a consistent basis. Bottom line is that deep down they are embarrassed and know I'm right. So their only defense is to tear me and the system down at this point, instead of just admitting they keep making mistakes. Let's
instead of admitting they keep making mistakes.
Sounds like
Tommy. Projection.
Sounds like a fucking tyrant. A fucking jeez.
What is biceps? I think Tony's comments on Pat was one of those double meaning things. Lazy. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. I don't understand. Again, the simplest thing, right? The simplest thing. You say, oh, the CU podcast came out with an episode, and they said some things, and things were incorrect, right? The simplest thing would be for Intellivision to fire up the cameras and go, hey, I know some people had some questions. They made some assumptions. It's understandable. It's a new console. They're not sure what's going on or, what it's capable of. So we're here to answer those questions, right? And just be like, boom, it does this, it does that, it does this. Answer all those things without attacking anybody, mind you. Just answering questions and put the video out. Pat and Ian would see it, and then the next episode they'd be like, hey.
Well, that would have been what a normal.
Yeah. That's what a normal company would have done.
A normal company would have done that, yeah.
I mean,
but this is not a normal company. This is a company run by Tommy Talarico, the crazy person.
Yeah. And I mean, Pat 100% said, I will only talk about things that are put out in press releases or videos that they make. So make a video or press release so they can talk about it.
put it another way. Ask yourself this question. If Reggie or Bowser, new Nintendo US Prez, or Miyamoto wanted to come on their show to clear up bad info they said about a Nintendo game or device, would they have them on? Of course they would. But they won't give me the same respect. Why? Because they are biased and can't grasp real retro gaming, because it happened before they were born. But instead of finding out more info, they just attack more.
What's so funny about this is Tommy said they can't grasp real retro gaming while also being part of Pat's retro gaming retrospective series.
What was that?
Video game
years, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Joseph says, Tommy's the gaming racist. Didn't he hate on Nintendo and other systems having online multiplayer? Tommy's the one attacking gamers. Well, he hated on Nintendo for firing him and being kiddie. Then he hated on a bunch of games because they weren't his cup of tea, or they didn't have sexy ladies. They were too family friendly. Tommy wants them to repeat propaganda. Yeah, that's what it was. See, here's the.
That's what it is.
Potion Sword Run hit the.
You didn't get it from the official source.
No, not just that. You see, if Tommy talks to Pat and Ian, right? Let's say in the universe that Tommy talked to Pat and Ian, and then Pat and Ian repeated what Tommy said, Tommy could always go around later and said, well, they misunderstood me, or that wasn't official. We didn't make an official video or an official press release, right? That's how he got everybody, right? I'm going to tell you this information, Retro Bro, Smash JT, Brian's Man Cave, Atari Creep, and then you'll repeat it, right? But it's not official. So when people get pissed, they're not getting pissed at Tommy. They're getting pissed at Turbo Joe. They're getting pissed at Cyrus. They're getting pissed at Mike Mullis, right? Because they're the mouthpieces. They're the ones propagating this stuff. And then when Tommy throws them under the bus, they all go, oh, yeah, you're right, Tommy. I must have misunderstood. I'm the asshole, right? Because we've seen it happen many times. Or Tommy then says something that's completely opposite of what these guys repeated, and then they go, well, it must have been me. I'm the one who must have screwed up.
Yeah, because they're so afraid that they would be cut off from the the well of Tommy and the knowledge of the Amico, so
Yeah.
they would instantly bow to him and whatever he says.
No, or I legitimately, Tommy did his Italian voodoo on him and convinced them that they're wrong, because we've seen it in real time where Tommy goes, hey, Retro Bro, here's some, we got those games are finished. Retro Bro goes out and says, hey, these games are finished. And we go, Retro Bro, he just said on this other podcast that they weren't finished. Oh, you're right, I screwed up. Hey,
Oh, jeez.
the Bugs Bunny no, yes strategy, yeah.
Exactly.
Italian voodoo. It was. He dangled some spaghetti noodles in front of them and was like, you'll repeat whatever I tell you. And they did it. And we saw it. It was ridiculous. And again, Tommy didn't get any blame of it. Tommy was deflecting all the blame. He was letting them, take all the hits.
It's crazy that he thought he could just micromanage this entire situation, like control the narrative completely,
because
it
it
not
worked.
allow.
It worked so many times.
For some people, it
no,
did.
I'm
You're
saying
right.
in the
It
past.
did.
Remember when Tommy, he did this way back on the G4 forums. He did this way back on his own forums. He didn't realize how big the internet had gotten, right?
That's true.
Remember, when he was around, YouTube still wasn't a thing, right? There was no YouTube. He didn't realize that some jackass like me could just fire up a video and just expose him completely, and that it would get thousands of views, right? He didn't think that someone like a Goose could exist, right? Well, who's going to watch some channel by this nobody named Goose, right? Turns out everybody's going to watch that shit, right?
If it's juicy enough, yeah.
Yeah. So he thought I'd get a bunch of these guys. They're going to get, I'm famous. I'm going to get them exclusive information. Their channels will grow because of me, because of how famous and awesome I am. And then everyone will just watch these videos because they're positive and because I'm famous. And it didn't work out that way. Tommy didn't have sway. He couldn't convince Susan Wojcicki to ban all negative Amico talk. Tommy threatened to kick the guy in the ding ding. Yeah, that too.
I think it's fair to say that Tommy wants to talk to Pat and Ian. Unfortunately for him, Pat and Ian don't want to talk to him. They would rather talk about the information that is publicly available rather than use their platform as a way to promote the system. And now, after this outburst, plus several other tweets that Tommy's made, which unfortunately I can't find because the majority of them are deleted, this was never going to happen after Pat and Ian finally retaliated.
It's really weird, and it's getting harder and harder for me to be impartial now in terms of me wanting this to be a success or fail, the more I get attacked by Tommy Talarico. That's all I'm going to say.
Because we had the gall to not immediately say this is going to be the best thing ever.
Oh, and none of it makes sense. It's whatever narrative you want to construct about us being haters or something where Ian publicly said and I said we don't want to fail. This is why we don't think it's a good idea. And this is the point. That is the point people are trying to make and why they're attacking Pat the Punk and the long-haired dude.
My name's Ian, Tommy. It's not hard.
Tommy, you might have met Ian, I think. Did you meet before?
No, I don't think I did, but still, it's not hard to find my name. But hey, I understand how this goes.
Okay, I think Tommy's made it personal officially.
And so it begins. The huge rift between the two parties. That sadly, looking back at this timeline, Tommy really only has himself to blame. You know what I think is best? Stop doing hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long interviews with tiny channels. Stop kicking off at everyone that isn't 100% on board with your vision for this console and people that don't want to talk to you. And most of all, leave Pat and Ian alone. Just let your incredible console speak for itself when it's finally ready to be shown.
Well, the problem was it wasn't an incredible console, and he never had anything to show, right? I think that was the bigger issue.
It was funny. I was just thinking, like when I was showing that clip of, I flashed back to when I remember watching that for the first time, when it was brand new. That when Pat was saying that, I think they've made it personal, and I just, having just barely dipped my toes into this and had no idea the rest of this shit was going on, who you guys were, all this existed, all this other shit was going on. It was strictly all I ever got was what Pat and Ian was saying, and it was already intriguing. Like, it must have just been crazy what you guys were going through during all this.
Oh, it was.
I can't even imagine.
You would make a video, it would be like the simplest little video. Be like, hey, I don't think this game looks good. People would attack you, call you names.
Yeah.
You know, they would insinuate things about your home life or your mental state. You must be a loser that doesn't have friends because you don't see the
basement
value.
dweller.
Yeah. They'd be like,
Yeah, I got that too. I got it too, but I could have. Yeah, it must have been probably even worse.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
3 days later. Hey, I wanted to make a quick video response today.
Yes.
Quick note: this is an unlisted video, right?
Yes.
This is how devious Tommy is. Tommy goes, he makes this unlisted video, okay, but then he goes everywhere and drops the link. He goes to Atari Age, hey guys, I made this unlisted. I know Pat and Ian come in here, so they might see this, and I got this unlisted video for Pat and Ian. Hey, I made an unlisted video for Pat and Ian. He was just everywhere, like Twitter, this with you. Like, dude, if it was for Pat and Ian, send them a fucking email with the link, right? Don't put it everywhere. You wanted everyone else to see it. That was what you wanted. You wanted to pretend like it was just for Pat and Ian, but it was for everybody else, so they can attack Pat and Ian. So go, look how nice Tommy was and how reasonable he was being.
See, this is so obvious to us. Like I would think the same thing too, but that's the thing. Like his cult members were just weak-minded at this point, and just they would completely have eaten this up.
And they did.
Look how nice he's being.
It was so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
He had them wrapped around his fingers.
Because he whatever they wanted. They were, you know, oh, you like E.T.? We're bringing E.T. back. What's your favorite game, Hammock Man? What's your favorite old school retro game?
My favorite, well, Super Mario Brothers. But
well, we're getting a new Super Mario Brothers exclusive to the Amico, just for you because you like it, Hammock.
Wow, thanks, Tommy. I love you.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous. He literally, and I don't understand how more people don't call him out on this shit, right? But he literally, you know, I don't get along with Atari Creep. We've had our issues, right?
Oh yeah.
But it is so scummy to tell a man who you know has mental issues, who basically said the Amico saved his life, right? To tell this man, you know, that game, that Atari, that ET game that, you know, you really loved as a child, and that this is like your greatest memory. We're gonna bring it back just for you, and we're gonna make you part of it, Atari Creep. We're gonna let you do play testing for it. We're gonna fly you out to LA, have you play test the ET, give input, help design the game. We're going to get you that ET game that you always wanted as a kid. Wouldn't that be something? How scummy is that?
Well, he's a sociopath, dude. He has no empathy for anyone.
Well, Atari Creep might be the most...
as a tool.
You Super J says Atari Creep might be the most toxic, but Tommy made him that way. If somebody said, here's a gold bar, right? To say, I got a gold bar. You could have this gold bar, but see those guys over there? They're trying to take your gold bar from you, right? You'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. I want a gold bar. Fuck these guys, right?
Yeah.
That's what he did. He said, we're going to give you that dream that you've had since you were a child. I'm giving you your dream. But you see those guys over there?
They're going to take it.
Yeah. If Tony's video gets a lot of views, people might not invest in Amico, and then I won't be able to get ET. ET is what's hanging on the balance. Your dream, it's right there. These guys, and people done crazy shit over that, right? Like, oh shit, this is my dream. Why am I going to let these guys ruin it? I don't give a shit at time he's scamming a bunch of people because my dream is going to come true. Tony,
look at all the fallout now. Like Tommy has just disappeared, and like I don't think any of them. I don't think he hasn't talked with anybody, has he?
No, he
any
hasn't.
of these
in
people
months.
like that I've heard. He's just he just fucking came. He came through and literally burned everything to the fucking ground and just disappeared and let everybody deal with the fallout with no information. That's because they were all tools to this man. They were not people. He didn't care. It was just a means to an end to get his to defeat Pat and Ian.
to
What a
scam a
and
bunch
the
of people.
haters. Just
Because this was Tommy's
Yeah.
dream. Tommy used all of yous because his dream was more important than your fucking realities. That's what it was.
and that goes back to like we were talking yesterday that how much had he actually talked with what's his name, Robinson, the
Keith Robinson.
Keith Robinson. How much had he actually talked with him? And you brought that up, you know, like how we'd never heard anything other than what Tommy had said. So this whole fucking thing could have literally have just been his creation, and he used it at that celebration of life thing. Just, hey, what's happening? Well, him and I used to talk about it, blah 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 blah. The whole thing is just fucking disgusting.
Manipulative as fuck.
Yeah, he is.
Man. I don't think Tommy would even lie about Super Mario. No, he would. Tommy would definitely be like, well, we might not be able to get Super Mario Brothers, but we're going to get an identical game just without the license. Because, you know, I'm great friends. Me and Shiggy. Shigeru Miyamoto's son. Tommy didn't do anything to Creep's personality. No, but he took... he pointed him. He turned him into a weapon. Right. We don't blame.
Yeah, he weaponized his.
Right? You get shot. You don't blame Smith and Wesson. You blame the guy who was pulling the trigger. Tommy pulled the trigger. Atari Creep was just a weapon. He was just used. He was just a tool in Tommy's hand. Fuck you if you lose money. Yeah, exactly. Keith chose Mike Kennedy over Tommy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he did.
Saggy told me she watched that Slopes video and she was shook and doesn't really know how to feel now. Well, that's good. That's good.
They're coming to terms. They're waking up from this spell. We've been talking about it and waiting it. I mean, it was one thing for us to say these things. Us little small YouTubers, like they could easily dispatch what we said as just bullshit. Oh, we're just trying to do clicks and stuff. But then you have these larger YouTubers. They're not doing it for clicks. They're just doing it because the story is so juicy. I mean, it's got to be to see someone like Slopes or H Bomber guy as these, and these are about you. Like you're the cult member. Like that's got to be a really bizarre feeling, like a waking up from literally the fucking cult. Like how you just look back. How could I have ever thought that way? How could I have ever believed like a real cult? You know, like a real religion. Like how could I have ever done these things? And like you just wake up. That's what's happening now. It's pretty fun to watch.
1 second, I got a stupid text message. I gotta take care of something. But they're like Patty Hearst. This is like when Patty Hearst got rescued.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sorry, it had to do with the big nuke that I'm dropping. So I had to follow up on something, but that's coming. It's coming. All right, let's see.
To Pat and Ian over at the CU podcast, and yeah, I think
CU podcast, like he doesn't know the name.
Misunderstanding.
Yeah, the whole thing. If you watch the video, right? I dare you. If anyone can find a link to the video, they're out there. There's just tons of them. But watch the video. We analyzed it. Like you can see the sun setting in the video. That's how long. You can see the cuts in the video where he obviously got too mad and had to like calm down and like, oh no, I'm attacking him too hard. This was not like he makes it seem like this was just like I turned the camera on and was like pouring out my heart. No, this was a carefully planned and orchestrated attack on Pat and Ian. That's what this was.
Yeah.
Tommy be like, we're in talks with Nintendo. We have a guy that used to work for Nintendo, so you never know. You never know. I mean, Nintendo did license out their games to Philips CDI at one point, right? So,
yeah.
Why would you think that they wouldn't be able to license it out to us, huh? I have industry connections. I've worked with Shigeru Miyamoto. Why is it so hard for you to believe that we, who have a company that's almost as big as Philips CDI, wouldn't be able to get Nintendo licenses on our machine? Huh?
Hotel Mario.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something?
God. If one day I wake up and Tommy's my Tyler Durden, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. Okay.
I listen to the way you read my Twitter, and it's like, well, that's not how I intended it at all. By the way, I don't think you're doing this on purpose, but I think what's happened now is that you're misleading your audience by giving them information on how you feel or how you think I feel. And I don't know, I just think that's a little unfair. The way you're portraying me and portraying my feelings about all of this stuff is not right at all. And so because you guys, won't talk to me, I thought I'd make this video. And I want this to come across as a friendly video. I'm not mad. I'm not, I'm disappointed, but whatever. I don't know you guys, and I just want to kind of go.
How do you be disappointed in people you don't know?
Exactly. That's fucked up. That's like what you say to your children.
I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. The way you've treated me, an industry legend.
Go through some of the things, and so that you have a better understanding, you can hear it from me and have a better understanding of how I feel on this whole situation and what my issues were with some of the things that you said.
2 days later, we get confirmation of a new Whitewater game, Future Iron Titles 2 After Moon Patrol. Several members of the team can be seen on the Jay Leno show driving around in a Burger Time themed car. He confirms that his good looks have been brought.
It wasn't the Jay Leno show. What the hell was that? What's going on over there, Hammock, man?
My house is always chaotic.
Yeah, that wasn't the Jay Leno show. It was Jay Leno's garage or something. It was Jay Leno's show, but it wasn't the Jay Leno show.
Yeah, no.
Little nitpick. Maybe he doesn't understand because he's from that country across the pond.
He's a Brit.
He's a Brit. But yeah, so it wasn't actually Jay Leno's show, or the Jay Leno show. It was. Now I'm getting confused. Like, let's just move on.
Up in meetings with certain retailers helping get the console on store shelves. Okay. He states that his friends in Japan who help promote the Xbox will help promote the Amico in Japan too. You do realize how unpopular the Xbox is in Japan, right?
But why? This was the thing that made no sense, right? This is 2019. Tommy says we're not releasing it in Japan just yet, right? But he's already talking about marketing it in Japan and getting people ready, that are going to be there to help them market in when it's not even releasing in Japan. There was never any plan to release this thing in Japan until after, like the worldwide release, 3 years after 2020. So like this year would have been like the Japanese release.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Tommy claims that he has access to $110 million of credit if needed. Nice. Anyway, you remember that YouTuber, Smash AT, that was very critical of this console? Well, he's just uploaded another video, although this time he's going at it with a slightly different viewpoint.
Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I spent the better part of my day yesterday with Tommy Talarico, the head of Intellivision, making the Intellivision Amico. And while I've made a couple videos in the past, especially my first one, that heavily criticized the idea of the Amico, the necessity for it in the market, after I met with Tommy and he informed me about what this thing actually presents to the end user, I guess you could say I've been converted.
Yep, Tommy did it again. And over the next few days, Smash JT would release several videos showcasing Tommy's Spider-Man collection, taking a drive in his Ferrari, and finally, a look at his fairly incredible video game console collection. In fact,
I still don't understand. Maybe I'm just naive, but I don't understand how he thought the Ferrari video was going to be a good look, right? Like, this guy's rich, and I'm in his Ferrari driving around. Like,
it's so obvious that he's being manipulated.
Yeah.
He just didn't see it.
Look at me be manipulated in real time, guys.
He Jedi mind tricked all these fuckers.
I don't know if it was a Jedi mind trick. It was a lot simpler than that. It was just, hey, I'm Tommy Talarico. Oh my God, whatever you say.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's certainly not like he's no Ben Kenobi, but he fucking, yeah. It's similar, but not as elaborate.
All right. Moving on.
To say from here on out for the next couple of years, Smash JT would change from being a criticizer of the system to one of Intellivision's most hardcore followers. And speaking of getting the Amico name out there, Tommy started teasing that he would be going on the Ellen DeGeneres show. As great as this sounds, he never went on the Ellen DeGeneres show, but that still didn't stop him bringing it up.
But still, if I have a slot on Ellen for the 12 Days of Christmas, or we have a slot on Jimmy Fallon or Conan, on a certain week.
Oh, I would love
And
to see you on Conan with Amico.
when,
I do love how he uses the Amico blue for some of this.
Yeah, I do too.
wouldn't that be something?
Oh, that's great, Tommy.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yes, it would be.
If you can see, I don't know if you guys can see this as clear on your screen as it is on my screen, but this gentleman right here, Slick Nick Richards, taking the photo.
I see it. Slicky Nicky.
He just went outside the Ellen DeGeneres show, took a picture, and I was like, guys, going on. I'm going on eventually one day. Could you? This is how long it's been. He took that picture, and the Ellen DeGeneres show has ended before the Amico even released.
It's gone. 4 years ago, 3.5.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I won't be able to take someone who says, "Wouldn't that be something?" seriously ever again.
No.
When Segue wakes up, I'm what? I'm looking at cream.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Some of y'all people.
Tender.
It's called The Tonight Show. No, but it wasn't The Tonight Show either.
Yeah, the Jay Leno show. Yeah.
There's no such thing as the Jay Leno show. It's The Tonight Show. But it wasn't even The Tonight Show. It was like the Jay Leno's Garage or something. You know what I meant. We all know what I meant. Ban that guy. Ban Tommy. Dirty Tommy. Yeah, Dirty Tommy and Slicky Nicky. Max wants Tommy on Conan like Max on Max. Oh yeah, when it
Where's
came up,
Gary?
Ellen was super mean. He's any minute now. Any minute he's gonna show up.
Something, but it's something you didn't do, Tommy. A couple of days later, Tommy teases a new game idea where users can create Amico games and sell them to other people in the game store and actually receive royalties, kind of like Xbox Live indie games. Another day, another podcast, this time with the...
I don't know if you caught that, but those game boxes on the bottom were some of those Photoshops that they were talking about earlier in the chat. Those weren't real games.
Sci-Fi 3D YouTube channel where he doubles down on the CU podcast rivalry.
So the first thing I would say, here's the deal. You misguided, you misled all those people and kind of created a beef when there was never a beef. And hold on, you guys said I attacked you. No, I didn't. You guys...
I love how Tommy's like, I didn't attack you. I said that you guys were idiots and the long-haired dude and you didn't know what you're talking about. That wasn't an attack. That was just me being honest about your stupidity.
Literally everything he says and does, it's like in the moment to try to convince whoever he's talking to, and it doesn't fucking ever matter what he said. It's like his whole thing is to manipulate the person directly in front of him.
Tommy,
even if it's not true.
Well, here's the thing. Tommy's banking on the fact that these people aren't as aware of what's going on as other people, as we would be, or as even he himself is, right? So he's just telling them things, and they're like, well, I have no reason, Again, we as humans have developed a where we trust.
Bullshit detector?
No, not a bullshit detector, but we as humans, in order to survive in a society, because we live in a society, right? We have to rely on other people. We have to rely on other people's ability to give us information, right? From when we were cavemen, when you're out there watching, you got to let us know when the lion comes, right? We have to be able to believe you. And so we've got this inherent trust amongst other humans, right? So when a human talks to us, our natural instinct is to believe them, right? Because that's how we've grown up. And that's why, like, when people take advantage of your trust, like people in positions of power, that's why it's so scummy, right? Because we're just like almost trained. It's almost a Pavlovian response to believe when people are saying things, right? And so that's what Tommy's taking advantage of.
This is true.
People's belief and people's, wanting and willingness to trust others.
Their goodwill, basically. Like, and he just manipulates and maneuvers through life just in that realm. Just it doesn't even matter. Like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, this person people just I'm sure like a lot of the cult members are like, who can I trust again? You know, like just questioning themselves. He doesn't give a fuck. He just tore it down and disappeared.
Like this
and now
guy,
he's doing video games live again.
I don't even know who he is, but I'm sure has no idea what was going on. Just
he
believed
doesn't
whatever
fucking
Tommy
know.
said. I was like, oh, that must be
Why
it.
wouldn't you? He's Tommy Talarico. I mean, he's in the industry. Why would this fucking guy be lying to me? I'm going to
He was the
believe him.
first
Pat
American
and
to
Ian.
work on a Sonic game. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
He took sounds from bleeps and bloops and made them into orchestra music.
I said that I can't take criticism about the machine. Yes, I can. They don't have to have me on the show or anything like that. Whatever. I don't care. But to go out there and say,
Potion says Tommy stole Rabbit Dude's innocence.
Yeah, he did.
It's like Broke Down Palace all over again. It is.
that I attacked them and I can't take criticism. That's just a downright lie. They are misleading their audience, and maybe it's because they want clicks, maybe it's because they want that controversy. But they said, hey, the machine's going to be $250 to $300. Well, that was a mistake, honest mistake. Okay, fine. So I don't have the right to go on Twitter and say, hey guys, it's $300. And then, you can't take criticism. You're attacking us. What are you talking about? I only wanted to, give them more information, like I'm giving you, or I only wanted to tell them more information. If they don't want that information, that's fine. That's one thing. But then to say that I was attacked, that I attacked them, that's just not true. In fact, it's a downright lie. And so you got to wonder. And by the way, why wouldn't you want to talk about it? Even at this point, what do they have to hide?
That implication, what do they have to hide? Fucking Tommy. Classic Tommy.
And then it was time for Tommy Talarico to reveal onto all of us the 10 Commandments of the Intellivision Amico, a set of rules that every single video game must abide to. And virtually every single one of these commandments were ridiculed. Let's make our way through them.
1. Every game must be rated E or E10+.
We already brought up the family-friendly stuff, but having it set in quote-unquote stone is quite...
Again, this made no fucking sense, and it still makes no sense. And DJ Slopes doesn't hit on it in this video. And such a shame, because DJ Slopes is not from America, right? These are American ratings. Okay, this was a system that was supposed to launch in multiple countries: Europe, Germany, the UK. They all have their own rating systems, right? You would think as Americans, they must all be one system, right? It's all Europe, but it's not. The UK has a rating system. Germany has its own rating system. The rest of Europe has a rating system, and then the American rating system, right? And unfortunately, they don't line up perfectly, right? E for everyone lines up, right? Because that's all ages, whatever they call it, right? But the E10 is the one that fucks everything up, because for us, 10 years old, that's a cutoff, right? But over there, they have like a E12 and an E6, right? So then where do Amico games fall? Do they fall under the E12 or the E6? Right? Well, if they fall under the E12 allows a little bit extra that E10 in America wouldn't allow, right? So now
there's a big difference between being 10 years old and 12 years old. That's what your knowledge base.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's like I said, what they allow, right? So like in Europe, maybe an E12 game might allow punching, or an E10 game in America might not allow.
Yes.
Punching, right? So you're like, well, where is it? Where's the line? Yeah. And when I asked Tommy about that, he's like, "Oh no, it's just one of those. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about." Like, yeah, I do. There's like fucking several rating boards.
Because he didn't know that there were different ratings throughout the world, I'm sure.
Yeah, like the PEGI system is not identical, and personally, I think there should just be one, right? We should all just get together, like have one fucking. But of course, you got countries that have weird. Not weird. Sorry. I apologize. Not weird, but some countries are dominated by a religion, and their religion has certain values that they say, "Hey, this is what we want. This is what we don't want." Right? So they have different ratings. China's really weird about like skeletons and supernatural stuff. So that stuff isn't allowed. Muslim countries don't allow like drinking and stuff that are haram. Right? So how do you now navigate this? Tommy had no answer because Tommy don't, like you said, Tommy didn't fucking.
Well, he needed a number for his 10 list. It's just to take the number off.
And make sure your kids don't watch Rise of the Skywalker. Yeah, and also just so we're aware, right? Because someone tried to like one of those gotcha. Didn't you know that Deadpool's on Disney Plus? That's what Stuttering Craig was talking about. No, when Stuttering Craig made the comment about Disney Plus having messages, first off, he said messages. Secondly, Deadpool was not added to Disney Plus till after that Stuttering Craig interview had happened. 3, Deadpool is available on Disney Plus in 2 versions, the kid version and the adult version. In order to see the adult version, you have to have the parental locks unlocked, right?
Eye-opening. Now, of course, the vast majority of games people played are already in this category, but forcing game devs to stay within these tight boundaries caused quite a lot of commotion.
2. Every game must be easily playable without the need for complicated or long instructions.
Again, it makes sense to a degree. However, have you ever played some of these classic Intellivision games like Microsurgeon and Utopia, among others? Games that are, according to our list, getting new versions for the Amico. Without instruction manuals, they are borderline unplayable. This was how they were designed, and they are widely praised for being this way in a sea of overly simple arcade game ports.
3. Every game must be balanced to allow players with different ability levels to still have fun.
Hands up.
Fucking get good, Grandma. It's bullshit.
Yeah, for real.
See, this also didn't make sense to me, right? If the games are easy, right? Because the second commandment is like nothing complicated, right? Make easy to play games, right? So at that point, if the games are easy, why do they also need to be balanced to allow people who suck, right? If Grandma can't push a single button and make her make her Mario Kart go faster, right? Then there's a problem with Grandma, right? It's not a problem with the game. We don't need to make the game better for her.
Yeah. She needs to go back to her sewing.
Yeah. You know, if Astro Smash is too complicated that she needs help, she needs some sort of rubber banding, then it's a Grandma issue. It's not a game issue, right? Those games were so simple. It's like Pong. We're going to make the paddle bigger. Why? The game is not that complicated. That you needed to have these fancy systems in place to balance it, right? Makes my head hurt.
Who likes rubber banding? You know, how the last player in Mario Kart always gets the good items. Honestly, I like it. I have a daughter of 5, and giving her a helping hand means that she can join in too. The problem is,
I've never let, when Sidekick Max was little, he would get his ass whipped in games, and he knew it. Get good. And when he won, it was deserved. And he was like, yes, I beat
It was
you.
earned.
It was earned. Nothing's handed to you in this life.
is playing with 3 people my own age, these mechanics are not so great. Let's hope the Amico gives options to change up these parameters in every single game, even though they would be complicated for such a simple system.
4. Every game must rate 7 out of 10 or above on Intellivision's quality control scale.
I mean, great, right? But who's rating? Do they send each game out to review sites, get the Metacritic average, and then only release them if they get a 7 or above? No, they decide themselves if a game is a 7. Let's hope that Cats and Swords is at least as good as Street Fighter 5.
This was also stupid, right? If you're gonna do this, right? If I was going to do this, as every game must rate a 7 out of 10 on our internal quality control scale, I would just be like, every game's got to be a 10. If we don't think this is a 10, we're not releasing it. Because fuck it, why not, right? At that point.
Exactly.
You know, all the
This
critics
is like
that
this
say
list-
it's a 2 it's a hater. It's a 10 on the Intellivision scale.
This list is like Tommy, just like I don't like it. This is what I don't understand. Like, is he like this kind of shit? The way that he comes out with these ideas and stuff and talks, it's like it's either you're high on fucking like Ritalin or something, or he's very manic. Like he just comes up with these things. Like he has these shifts in his mood. You know, like where he's depressed for a little bit. Yeah. And then he's just manic, and he just comes up with these fucking crazy, bizarre ideas. I mean, this is pure manic behavior to come out with a 10 commandments with all this bullshit on it.
Yeah,
it's fucking
One
weird.
Express says if Phil Adam dies, the CEO who becomes the new CEO. If John A is the only other employee, the vice CEO. It's like a president thing. Then the Senate, the Amico Senate signs. Adam Wilson says it's DJC. DJC, yeah. He could live like the Tommy story. Tommy went from being a game tester to becoming CEO of a company. Now DJC can go from being a game tester to being the CEO. Actually, if Phil Adam dies, it goes back to me. I am the one. Tommy lost the goddamn CEO position to me. All right, and I will die on that hill.
Oh, yeah, me too.
We had a bet. We had a bet that had parameters. Tommy kept changing the parameters because he kept losing. He would set a thing, say, "Hey, the next fucking press release would come." Boom, wouldn't happen. Oh well, we had to delay it. No, Tommy, the bet was for the next press release. You don't get to change it, right? He said, "Hey, I'm gonna send you the fucking thing." Okay, that's what we agreed on. We agreed that you would send me the contract so I could read it. He didn't. He lost the bet. Tommy lost the bet. I should be CEO of Intellivision. I don't want it now because they're in so much fucking debt.
No.
If there's like a do-over, if the judge can be like, "Hey, Tony, you're CEO, but all the debt goes to Tommy in the knuckleheads that fucked it up, right? You don't have to take on the debt. You just get to take over the company." I'll gladly. You can gladly give me Intellivision. I'll gladly take it as long as the debts don't come with it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Seems crazy. Intellivision CEOs have problem with parents dying. Quite strange, especially always around the time. Supposed to be
oh, jeez.
I mean, Tommy's dad did die.
It's a curse.
They're old, though. That's the thing, right? Like, Tommy's like, what, almost 50, 60 years old?
Yeah.
Like
Phil Adams, like 70.
I was surprised that his mom, not to be me, but I was surprised that she was
still alive.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Would the Amico be out if Tony was a CEO? Yeah, it would have. It would have. I mean, something would have been out, right? If I had gotten the CEO position, I obviously would have looked at everything and be like, "Oh fuck, this is all fucked up," right? Like, and then we would have made sweeping changes. And we're like, "Whoa, what you guys are doing is completely asinine, and we're going to get rid of all this." First, I would have had a 4-point plan. A 4-point Amico plan, right? Number 1, get rid of that goofy ass controller. That thing. First off, 2 of them for what it costs to make, and for what they are not capable of doing, they are nothing but albatrosses around your neck. Get rid of that goofy ass controller. It would have been a 3-button Sega style controller.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number 1. Number 2. I don't understand why you spent $100,000 on Evel Knievel. The game was already done. You made him skinnier. It cost you $100,000 to make Evel Knievel slightly skinnier, and then slap on some bullshit. No. For that $100,000 that they spent on just one game, I could have probably gotten like 3 or 4 games that were finished and then ported over to the Amico.
Easy.
Because again, Kickstarter, right? Kickstarter, Indiegogo, all those places have games that are like, "Hey, we only want 10,000, we want 20, 15, whatever," right? And then they fail because they don't have the notoriety. No one's talking about the particular Kickstarter. No one's talking about these games. So Tommy and Intellivision could have swooped in. "Hey, we'll pay for, you want 10,000, we'll give you the 10,000. You just put the game on the Amico for 1 year exclusive. Give us first right of refusal to any sequels. There you go. Everyone's happy." And the other 2 points I'm going to keep to myself so no one steals my idea. And we got like 45 people watching, so drop a like. Give me a little boost, a little ego boost.
5. Every game must cost less than $10.
Of course, this is a good thing again, as the vast majority of the games I play, indie games, are within this price bracket. But
this was a terrible idea. Slopes, you're wrong. You're wrong on this one. Every game costing less than $10 was fucking horrible when you consider that no one was going to make any money off of it, right? No developer was going to be like, "Yes, limit the amount of money I can make. I can't do it because the next commandment is like no DLC and shit, right? So can't make any money there. And then you're going to tell me I can only charge $10? plus I got to split some of that $10 with you on a tiny ecosystem. This isn't like it has to be $10 on the Switch, which is sells 122 million, right? We have 122 million player base to market to. No, this is 10,000. We have 10,000. So even if we somehow got 100% attachment rate, right, of your 10,000 pre-orders, that's only $100,000, which is what they spent to make some of these games.
Yeah, that's fucking
Still,
nutty,
outside
dude.
of replayable arcade titles, it will surely decrease the amount of time being given to story-driven games.
6. Every game must support the official Intellivision controllers.
Well, duh.
7. Every game must be 2D or 2.5D. 3D models okay, but no free roaming 3D worlds.
No free roaming 3D worlds. Which is stupid again.
Probably because the Amico can't handle it.
No, but the Amico could. Oh my god. This is why Tommy's just fucking stupid, right? You had games, right? Like the old RPGs where it was like you were going through a maze, right? Those were 3D.
Well, sure, yeah. And he mentions that, like the tricks that you could use to make it 3D.
Yeah, there's
Slopes
tricks to make 3D games.
There is.
It doesn't have to be like these complicated open world 3D, right? But you could make like a 3D, like a Star Fox type game, or like one of those like Might and Magic, where you're like going through like a dungeon crawler type games. Right? You don't need like an FPS. It doesn't got to be like a fucking Call of Duty, but you can do stuff. What's up, Pitbull?
What the insanity of just all these rules, like with not having any product or anything out, just completely kneecapping any potential people that would want to come on. Like, how many people would look at these lists of shit and just be like, there's no way in hell I'm touching this. What's the point of me going out and trying to be on a console that isn't even proven that it could be a success? But on top of that, here's all this fucking stupid ass rules. I mean, what kind of thought process is that? That's what I'm saying. It's just pure manic behavior and not thinking at all. Just delusional.
And the worst part is Tommy's not a game designer, right? This is like someone who doesn't design games is going to make rules for designing games.
This is like Tommy's like he's got nothing else to do in the office while everybody else is doing their work, and he's just like, I'm going to come up with a list of 10 commandments, just to give him something to do. That's all it fucking is.
What you're saying
is so stupid.
Nick Richards and them gave Tommy a piece of paper and some crayons, and then he made the 10 commands. Like, guys, I made these 10 commands. I'm like, fuck, why did we give him crayons? We should have just gave him the paper.
Go do origami in the corner.
They started firing employees. Who gave him crayons? Fucking, you're gone.
Again, I see what they are trying to do here, but it's still limiting the developers that might come up with unique ways to make games on the Amico.
Every game must be an Intellivision exclusive. Even ports must be unique in some way.
How deep does this go? Who knows at this point? We eventually find out that it means nothing more than adding a multiplayer mode, but at the same time, certain games, which we will cover, never look any different than their web browser or mobile phone counterparts.
I'm still not convinced he had access to those games. Like, it just seems weird that Sesame Street would be like, yes, we're going to license you the web browser games to put on your Amico, right? Like,
9.
Who knows?
No in-game purchasing or DLC.
At first, I was anti this idea. I personally don't mind paying a few bob to an indie game studio for a few extra levels in a game I've already pumped a serious amount of time into. But here, it's fine. The games are essentially DLC price from the get-go anyway, so I'm happy to just buy a sequel.
Well, we're joined by the man himself. What's up, Slopes?
Oi, how's it going, Pete? What's this you're watching here, then? What's this rubbish?
I don't know, just some video.
Technical
about the
difficulties. Oh, there he
is.
is.
I mean, I'm just trying to move stuff around a little bit. I've just got off another stream. Someone else talking about the video.
Was it the Rich video?
Yeah.
What happened to Rich yesterday? He was supposed to go on for his second live stream, and it was like a 10-second live stream, and that was all that went up.
No idea. Yeah. So,
This is good stuff, dude. This is well done.
Thank you very much.
We're nitpicking a little bit, but we're nitpicking here a little bit. But
fine. I mean,
the
whole
thing.
I completely get it. I mean, you guys have been. I mean, I've been heavy on this for 4 months plus, whatever it is. But you guys have been heavy on this for years, so you're obviously going to have wanted to have done it your way. You know, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're nitpicking. There's some things, like I said, I understand the angle of the video and why certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, there's like small things, like you didn't mention Hans's connection to the FFF Bayern. I think that's important information, right?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think I knew entirely all about it until after I started hearing people talk about it afterwards. Maybe I did hear about it before, but then for whatever reason, I didn't add it in there. It would have been important to add in. Maybe I didn't think about it, or I forgot about it. I don't know. Yeah, it's a deep, it's a deep rabbit hole, man.
It really is. It really is.
Mm-hmm. It's done well though. I don't mean just because of views. It hit 100K tonight. But,
did it? Congratulations!
It's just hit 100K. But what's good for me is the fact that people endlessly. I can't remember the last time I did a video where I'm just constantly getting messages every like 15 minutes or so, and those messages are normally things like I was only expecting to watch 20 minutes. I watched 4 hours. You know, things like that, and I'm like, well, fuck yeah, like I've done my job. You know, yeah, I'm chuffed.
Yeah, that crown the Frog King wears is because he's the king of nitpicking, not the king of frogs. That's correct. It's in my nature. I nitpick everything.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. I'm okay with
that. So, what did Rich have to say about the video? What was his major criticisms?
No, did he criticize? Jay was looking at it from like the technical point of view, like how long things took and how I did certain things with the the list going up the side and all that sort of thing. And Rich was primarily getting my opinion on where did it go wrong, as in like the history of the Amico rather than the video itself. There were certain things I was like afterwards. I'm like, oh man, I didn't talk about the tactile buttons.
Oh, that was a whole saga in and of itself.
That's something that could have gone up on the right hand side on the claims list. Yeah. And the thing is, I know that's in my bullet points. I'm like, why didn't I add that?
Like I said, you worked on this for a year, right?
Well,
was this like a year in the process?
The proper process was about 4 months. It was about October-ish time, really November as I really hit it hard. But yeah, October time was roughly when I started doing it.
Yeah.
I know when I make like a 10 or 15 minute video, I look back at it and I say, why didn't I say this? I forgot to say that. Like 4 hours, I could imagine there's probably definitely things
that I know you
forgot or left out.
Tony, it's a perfect criticism that there wasn't enough in the 2022 saga in part. I don't think I was rushing, but I was definitely wanting to round it up and show that it was, you know what I mean, by that point, because every single update was just like, and then this person left and this person left. Yeah,
I think also maybe I'm misremembering, and you can clarify, but I don't think you mentioned the fact that 3 different people dedicated entire weekly shows to the Amico, to a product that had not even launched.
I kept away from like not attacking. I know what you're saying. It's not attacking, but I kept away from aiming my gun at certain YouTubers or whatever it may be.
Yeah. I just thought like maybe, like I said, without mentioning names, you could be like, and somehow this product that was never released got 3 different YouTubers to dedicate weekly shows to this product, right? Because I mean, OEBP told channel's gone anyway, so it's not like anyone could.
Yes, yeah. It was. I remember not to jump ahead because you're nowhere near the part I'm about to talk about. But I think maybe because for people out there that don't know, like Tony TGD and a couple of others are in this little chat, and these are people that I said, look, every so often, did you? I'm really struggling to find this part out, and they would help me out. Or every so often, Tony would actually come to me and goes, like I remember one of the amazing things you came to me about, which I had no idea about, was so about the baseball bet. I'm like, no. And I could see you like rubbing your hands together as you told me that, and I was just like, "Wow, this is such an awesome part of the story," and little things like that. But I can't remember where I was going with this now. It's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning here. Whatever.
It happens.
Whatever. Oh yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, near the end of the video. So I was obviously I like to hide things in my videos. So for people out there that haven't found out yet, the background, the wallpaper behind the television, is the edible wallpaper from the first Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. Little things like that. There's sometimes
Snozberries.
Yeah, there's a couple of times when the camera sort of does this. The screen does sort of this spin back on itself when it changes like a transition, and you get that like half a second thing when it goes over, and sometimes you see Willy Wonka behind the screen and stuff like that. And I like to hide that sort of stuff in, but when I'm doing that, I'm finding clips on YouTube or whatever. And I remember I was just editing one day, and I was like, Pure Imagination came on, and I was like, this is a good song. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, oh, Pure Imagination, the Amico's Pure Imagination, and it all just started clicking. I'm like, oh my god, the lyrics tell the story of the Amico. And I'm like, if you want to view paradise, you've got Earthworm Jim on the beach and for a spin. And I'm like, the controller's got the spinny disc. I'm like, oh my god, everything's just coming. And it all just came together. And I was like, that was the eureka moment for me. I think I remember like rabbiting on about it to you guys in that chat, and I got a bit of a, the fuck is this guy talking about sort of response. But I was like, I couldn't get my information out quick enough, like that, because I was still like formulating the idea in my head. But yeah.
Well, Tommy did have a Wonka book, so there's that.
He did. After I did that, I had to keep going back into the script and trying to add things about Willy Wonka to try and remind the audience as it goes along. Look, this guy likes Willy Wonka, and you need to remember that for the ending. You'll see like Jay Allard. There's a funny. You've used it before in your videos, I think, Tony, where there's a picture of Jay Allard with dreadlocks for some reason.
Yeah,
and he's holding the PSP. If you look at the PSP in my video, there's actually Willy Wonka shouting. Little things like that.
And while I got you here, and it is jumping ahead.
No, that's fine. That's
fine. But the baseball bet, you missed a few key parts of it.
The baseball bit. Oh, what the bet?
Yeah, because so we bet, and then what ends up happening is after they missed the first press release, Tommy then changed the bet 3 or 4 times in between when the bet started and when the bet ended. It actually changed and evolved 3 or 4 times. Okay. And when he gave them the paperwork or whatever. He actually said the bet had changed at that point, that he was going to give me the paperwork. He actually says, it's in a YouTube comment, he's like, I'll send you the paperwork to prove that I got the MLB license when we made the bet. And I was like, okay. And we agreed on that. And then that's why I confronted him. And he's like, well, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm like, dude, you said you were the one who was like, I'll give you the paper. I was like, okay, I agreed. Right? Like, you can't make a bet and then change a bet and then be like, oh no, I'm just going to keep changing it willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
And 2,
sorry, there's another bit. Okay.
When you showed the Amico show, I would really have preferred the one with my signature on
it. Your signature on it?
Yes. You don't know? Okay, so after I won the show, right?
Yeah.
I actually was on a live stream, and I was like, I got to make sure that everyone knows it's mine. And I signed it live on YouTube. So my signature's on the Amico shell now.
Ah, come on. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's right in the middle, right in that section where it's empty.
Right. God, that has got to be so. Oh, mate, like I don't feel. I feel sorry for Tommy Talarico? Like I think it's because No, because in my mind, because he is obviously a hardcore fan of Intellivision. Of all the things he said, that's one thing he's definitely. He likes Intellivision. He grew up with Intellivision. So I picture myself every so often. I think, oh, I was in charge of Sega. I would get them to do this and that and this and that. He's lived that. I am the man in charge of Intellivision. And not only has he destroyed the company that he loves so much, but then you've got these fucking YouTubers that come along and destroy a film that he loves so much. He's dedicated a shrine in his house to it. And I hear that. Let's do a nice thing. Let's get rid of this little plastic shell, and it went to Tony TGD, and he's fucking signed it. It's like
And I had a fight
Can
for
this
it.
guy get a break? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking it's hilarious and painful at the same like in equal measures.
Well, here's the other thing about it. So I got the shell, right? So I won the
Yeah.
Well, they didn't want to give it to me. Tommy literally was not going to send me the shell. I had to contact the charity company, and they had to contact Tommy and them. And if you could ask Retro Bro, he'll verify. Tommy wasn't going to send it to me. He was very adamant that I was not going to get it. There it is.
Shit. I think I've seen that picture. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just didn't really look. I don't know. But shit.
So there it is.
Tony TGD, right in the middle.
I mean, that's the picture that's on my book. How could you miss that?
I haven't got your book, but maybe
I'll send you a copy.
Oh,
I know what the book is. I know what the book is. Hey, look, who knows when if this stops? I don't think it ever will stop its traction. The video, unless obviously something bad happens. But mark my words, anyone that wants to take this video down, 6-hour video will come up in its place with all of the extra shit. So basically, I don't know if people know this. So basically, when I look at my, I don't know if you guys have. I'm sure you do. You got like YouTube Studio on your phone. It tells you like your top 10 videos of the month or whatever. The Vega Plus video is always in my top 5, and that's a video I released 3 or 4 years ago or something to that effect. I don't know, something around then. I wanted to make another video like that, not because it's always in my top 5, but I was just so proud of how that video was structured, and I've come a long way since then, editing wise and story wise, and even like my lighting and my microphone or whatever it may be. And I was like, this is the angle I'm going to go down with the Amico, and I've got a feeling that this is a video that's not going to stop gaining traction. Sorry, people at Intellivision. Sorry.
Nothing to be sorry for. It's just everything you're saying here is the truth.
It is.
That's the thing. Like, there were things that Tony would come to me and go, "What about this?" And I was like, there isn't enough proof for me to add it into the video on a couple of occasions. And I know there was a couple of things you really pushed for me to try and put in, and I was just like, no, there's nothing. I can't do that. You know what I mean? I didn't aim at anyone in particular. I think DJ C got off quite scot-free, if I'm honest, from the video.
Yeah.
I know, like, Retro Bro, I definitely got the impression from Retro Bro that he was very worried about the video, but he was being very nice and giving me whatever I needed for the video. It was very helpful in the creation of the video, but I think I got the impression he was a bit worried about how it was going to turn out, and I think he got off scot-free as well. In fact, other than the fact that I say that Tommy goes on Retro Bro interviews, I don't think I say really much of anything else about him. So I wasn't aiming at anyone, because in my mind, and I know it's very easy for me to say, being an ex-shill, I don't see why we're fighting each other when I know it sounds so hippie, but like, we're fighting each other when the real enemy is.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Like, Tommy just like basically used all these people, all these cult members, just like spun this story with them and got them to go out and do all this dirty work for him. So he literally, Tommy did this. This is all on Tommy. Like,
that's the thing. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
I was just gonna say, he weaponized. Like, he basically weaponized all the YouTubers, and then everybody else just was kind of like, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. Like, everything these people are saying, it doesn't jive with me, you know? So, Tommy,
I mean,
I've always said...
Yeah, sorry, carry on again, sorry.
No, go ahead, man, go ahead.
I was saying, like, people like Pat and Ian, obviously, they were right about this. But I've said this 1,000 times. I might have said this live before with you guys, but I've definitely said it to you, Tony. Like, they were so hardcore on it that when you speak to Tommy and he seems like a very humble guy, it's like, why the fuck are these guys attacking me? And he's got this like, and you're like, why are they attacking you? You go look at their channel, like, man, this guy doesn't even know what flavor to have on his pizza. I'm like, the fuck are these guys on about? Just leave them alone. Like, and I just felt like, and then that would happen, and then obviously that was pushing, you know, the supporter crowd, because I don't want to use the word shill, because I really do think I think like I think I don't want to name names, but it's very obvious who are shills and who are the haters. You know what I mean? Like the people that are real hardcore. There's certain people, without naming names, that no matter what I do, if I was the person to take down Tommy and put him in prison, it wouldn't be enough for them. Like, you know what I mean? Like I class those.
Oh no, yeah.
More hater side of things, and then obviously there's the shills that are just nothing. In television can do no wrong. Again, I'm not naming names, but you can see there's those people, and then there's other people in the middle, and
that's why you just need to aim for the middle.
Yeah, but again, I'm not trying to point at anyone in particular, because why are we fighting each other when there's a guy there that, whether he means to be doing it or not, he's just conducting this whole thing. Go after that person, and I can't. Can you believe they've done this to me? This is defamation. Oh my god, this is defamation. You don't know what you're talking about. You're the CEO of the company.
Tommy defamed me. Okay, so if we're gonna talk about defamation, Tommy literally, it didn't make it in the video, and I understand why, but Tommy literally told people that I sexually harassed YouTubers. He told them that. He told them that in private conversations. Right. So these people, so when they attacked me, right, they were under the impression that I was this evil person, right? They're like, oh, that's the guy who's going after Tommy. He's a sexual harasser and he's an evil person. So in their mind, right, you know, they're like, oh, he's a dickhead anyway, so fuck him, right? That's why he's going after Tommy. And like Hammock Man saying, he weaponized, and I'm sure he said other things about other people, right? That guy's crazy. That guy did this. He fucking kicks puppies.
I'm not going to go down in details about what was said to me, and I've not even said that in the private groups that I'm in. What me and Tommy have talked about, primarily, I would say almost 90% of it isn't about the Amico or the haters or things around him. It was normally about other things, primarily his history in gaming and music and whatever. But what I will say without pointing names is he would lean me away from certain people and lean me towards others.
So
to answer the question, someone just
approved
said,
channel, Amico approved channels.
Slopes, did you invest in the Amico in the past? Says the rabbit dude. I mean, I'll let you be the judge of that. I put £100 down on dollars down on a pre-order. I put the date in this, and I show. That was literally, that's not me taking a screen grab from somewhere. That's my email. That's the email they sent me. Obviously, I made sure my name, my email address or whatever isn't on there. But you can see the date at the top of the email. That was that's literally from my Gmail account. That's where that's the day I pre-ordered a system on Fig. So I mean, I see it as a pre-order, the same way I would pre-order a Switch or whatever. But you can look at it as crowdfunding. I mean, Fig is technically crowdfunding. You can see it as investing. It's up to you how you see it. But in my eyes, it was putting a pre-order down for $100.
It was a pre-order. It wasn't an investment.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I see what like Smash JT is. I'm not like throwing shade at the guy, but that was an investment. That's a very different thing.
Yeah. Well, you said that you talked to Tommy since I got you here. You might as well. But you talked to Tommy about things, you know, about his career and other things. After watching the H Bomber guy video, do you look back at those conversations and go, man, this guy was fucking lying to me this whole time? Like,
yeah, it's hard because I think that was primarily on my interview. Like I look back at my interview and like, fuck, man, what was he saying? But primarily the stuff we talked about privately was more like, so hey, I'm looking at doing a video about Sega World, and I was in London at one point, and I showed him a picture of what Sega World is now. It's a horrible little souvenir shop. And he would tell me something about Sega World or something like that. That was primarily what it is about. And even to this day, I don't see why that would be a lie. And I think it's probably the truth, what he told me. I mean, that he went to London with David Perry. I'm sure that's, I mean, why would that be a lie? I mean,
but that's his whole career though. Like everything, like you're like, why would any of it be a lie?
Don't get me wrong. Everything needs to be double checked. But that would be an, I don't know. You know what it reminds me of? Like, not that any of you guys know a kid I went to school with. But there's a kid I went to school with, and he would always do this thing where you started to work it out when you got a bit older and a bit wiser. But he would always say really random things, like not to big himself up, but I suppose to make himself sound more interesting. Like I saw a crash on the way to school today, or something ridiculous. Like, no, he didn't. Like, just every conversation you're having, all of a sudden he would just chime in and said, like, you know, like, not that he's got something that you haven't got, or he would tell a lie that doesn't mean anything. The only way I can put it out, just to make himself sound more interesting, because virtually every lie Tommy told started with a nugget of truth. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he worked on Metroid Prime.
I was talking about the same thing yesterday. I had a friend growing up, Nathan, who was just like that. Like, there would be he would say something true, but then he would always have to embellish it. Or like, if you had a story, Nathan had to have a story that was even better and grander. And it's like, I don't know. I kind of remember, like, he was kind of picked on a little bit when he was younger. And I think, I don't know if that he developed that he just like had to get people to like him. He thought that he had to, everything had to be something more, or he had to have an answer for every little thing you had, or yeah, I'm like how Tommy is. Oh yeah, I'm going to put that game in, or oh yeah, we're going to put that game in. It's like, why? I just don't understand. And that's what's so crazy about it, is that he's a CEO of this company, and we've watched this entire thing happen. Somebody like that, like my friend Nathan. If my friend Nathan was the CEO of a company, it would be insane. And it's just like what Tommy has done. It's been very entertaining.
Well, if we're going to psychoanalyze Tommy Talarico, his sister did have some medical issues, and I'm sure that a young Tommy was probably aware that the sister was getting more attention and not realizing, you know, it's because of medical issues that she's getting more attention, right? And so in order for Tommy to get attention, he probably told stories as a kid, and that translated into life. I tell a story, I get attention.
I mean, they're all good theories. I don't really want to comment on that.
You don't have to. You don't have to. We just leave. Let us do this. You don't have to get in the weeds with us.
No, I mean, no, it's fine. It's just, I don't know, like,
it's his hero.
There's certain areas I don't like to go down. So, like, you know, talking about
that's fair.
This is probably not one of those areas I probably won't go down.
I don't know.
Yeah, Tony.
If we see Slopes heading down to Chile in a couple of months, we'll know what's up.
You know what? Jay over on the Review Tech USA stream said, "Look, say what you want, but his live shows were and are fantastic. You can't take that away from him." And I'm like, you know what? It sucks because I really want to go, and I never went. And now, can you imagine if he looks out at the crowd and he's like giving it his all on his guitar, and he's like, Is that Slopes Game Room? And I'm like, hey, like,
he would just stop the show, get him out. The show's not going out until he leaves.
It's painful, like, you know, like that. I would like to have seen that. That would have been good.
All right. I think
I won't ask you for a free ticket.
He's still a friend with me on Discord.
I guess Gary was having some. Gary having some mic issues. Look like
Gary said that his mic wasn't working.
And just, you know, look, I think I'm still friends with him. I have to really scroll down to get to him. There he is. Yeah, still friends, I think.
You should add him to the group. To the group chat.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Profile. It's asking me to. I want to follow him. No, we are friends. There you
go. Tommy couldn't kick me out of VGL because he doesn't know what I look like. He has a picture of my brother though. Tommy was passing around a picture of my brother because he thought it was me.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Was he really? How did he get that?
Well, because Relic and them got my name, and then they started looking up.
Oh yeah.
And then they went into Instagram, but I don't have any of that stuff. So I guess they grabbed onto somebody who they thought was me, and it happened to be my brother. Because Retro Bro, he's like, "Is this you?" I think it was either Retro Bro or Saggy. But like, this is the picture that he was showing around. I'm like, "Yeah, that's not me."
That's full on.
I know.
That's full on. I did one thing I did say in the Review Tech USA stream was talking about like how he would go on the interview of anyone. It would say yes to like every interview.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh yeah, well, you know that Tony TGD guy? You want to look through his interview?" And I was like, "Yeah." So one thing I should have probably done a bit better in the interviews when I zoomed down on the sub count of Tony TGD the Geek Getaway is about 1,200 roughly. And they were like, yeah, I went, how many subs do you reckon he was when Tommy Talarico agreed to the interview? And he's like, oh, what, 200? 13.
No.
It was like, and not only was
What'd
he
you say it was
13,
yesterday?
13 when he agreed.
13, yeah.
And I said, not only, but the crazy thing about this was he wasn't, saying being a nice person to a hardcore fan. He was going into the firing line. He was about to get his ass fucked. And he did it with a 13 subscriber channel and boosted it up to 50.
Yeah, he built my whole channel. Yeah. And it's funny because I really I made a couple articles about the Amico at that point. Mm-hmm. If Tommy didn't do that interview, then none of the events that followed with me being involved, I would never have been involved in this situation, right? We wouldn't be here right now talking about it, doing a 2-hour live stream with 48 people watching me ramble on about how Tommy's crazy. So he created not only one of his biggest detractors,
the leader of the gaming racists.
Yeah, leader of the gaming racists. That's on my Twitter handle now. Thanks.
Is it actually?
Yeah, I put it on there.
Yes. Is that from the back of my video?
Yeah. Yes. I was like, I'm going to put that.
Yes. Leader of the gaming racist. If anyone looks at that doesn't know about the Amico, looks at what sort of cult is this guy into?
Yeah, that's bad.
I already get labeled all kind of things. They were actually very mad. I don't know if you've seen the Reddit, but they were very upset that you had me, Retrobro, Smash in your video.
Yeah, they can moan all they want.
Because we're all incredibly.
I'm very, very upset that Leo doesn't like me. It keeps me up at night.
I don't think Leo likes anyone. To be fair,
no.
I mean, it's so funny when I listen to all of the complaints from what I would class as the hardcore haters on my video when they say things like he left it too late in the video, and I'm like, we obviously haven't watched it because it's a fucking timeline video, you numpty. I'm not going to start the video at my point and then work backwards because that would be a very, very crap video. Little things. And they used to moan that I didn't put the original interview on my main channel, but then they're not putting two and two together by the fact that original interview, I think it's got like 4,900 views on the second channel, and I've just done a video exposing myself to now 100,000 people, and that's in less than a week. It's like, I mean, how much more ownership do I take of this situation? Like, I'm telling people that didn't know about it, that are fans of my channel, I fucked up. Like, I don't know what else I can do. Like, I can wear a big billboard and walk down the street if you like. Like, I don't know what else I can do by this point.
You can't. Like you said earlier, you're never going to be able to. There's so many levels of haters. Like, they want you to be marching in the streets talking about how much you hate Tommy Talarico. Like, you could never get to that level. Like, there will always be people below. They do it to us too. Like, they think that you're a fence rider, like, no, I'm not, dude.
Maybe I need to grow John Alvarado's I'll grow John Alvarado's little moustache and go to a video game live and just do this in front of
that still wouldn't be good enough. It's like, so they complained that I had how dare you have Smash JT or Retro. I said, guys, they were inside with Tommy. They have inside information, right? You want the information.
Exactly.
I said, A, you want the information. B, you all said that you're not going to go to their videos, right? I'm not going to watch a Smash video. So the only way for you to get the information would be here. I let them come on. We weren't like all like buddy with them. I was like, I pushed back. I made fun of them. We ragged on them. We called them shills still, but we let them talk and give their side of the story, because that's what, ultimately what we all want is the information and what the truth is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently that's still not good enough. I'm a fence rider.
They don't want the truth. They just want to make videos constantly dunking on them over and over and over again, just talking shit. That's what they want. Yeah. That's not what we want.
No Swear Gamer says Slopes taking part of a Slopes reaction video.
Yeah.
What Inception dreams I dropped. This is like the second or third time he's been in a Slopes reaction.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
All right, let's get back to the video. I mean, we've
I'll stick around for a little bit and then I'll go to bed. I'm just really on a high. I'm on a high. Sorry.
Anyway.
And finally, 10. Every game must incorporate local multiplayer, couch co-op, or versus mode.
Yeah, this one I'm not fond of. Look, multiplayer is great, but shoehorning multiplayer into single-player driven and story-driven games is absolutely pointless.
I get your point here, but I don't think they were going to have single-player story-driven games on the Amico anyway.
Well, Fox and Forest is.
Yeah, I think that was like the exception to the rule.
Yeah, exactly. So there's your game, and then they're going to shoehorn. I think it was going to be those little like schmuppy sections that were going to turn into a multiplayer, weren't they?
They did the same thing with Evil Knievel. They shoehorned in that. Lawn dart.
I've still never actually played Evil Knievel. I need to download
that. You can get it on Amazon for $1.
Okay. What, as in what, for the for their little Amazon tablet things?
Yeah, for the tablet. It works on my phone. You got to go like through the Amazon store.
Yeah. I've actually got that. I downloaded a couple of games through that. That's cool. I'll check that out.
I mean, it's not bad for what it is. It's not. Again, it's not.
It's the same with like Finnegan Fox. I mean, you can't hate on these games and Evil Knievel. I mean, they're all right. Evil Knievel. I haven't played it. I'm sure it's gonna be one of those games like this is all right. I'd rather play Trials.
You mean
100%.
You mean Finnegan Fox doesn't make your jaw hit the floor?
He was playing it earlier.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
I seen Slopes struggling to play Fox and Forest. I gave that game a 4. I said it was a 4 out of 10. And then I ended up interviewing the developer of Fox and Forest, and he mentioned it, and I felt so bad.
Whoops.
It's like, but it's just not that good. And I was actually excited, right? Because I played Fox and Forest. When they announced Finnegan Fox and they described what they had changed to the game, right? I said, yeah, those are the things that those are the improvements that I thought the game should have had anyway. Like when you jump, you should be able to shoot, right? Why does it become a melee attack?
The double jump, you can't do it like you can't use your attack anymore on a double jump and stuff like that, can you? Yeah.
And I was like, the walking and shooting, like they were going to add that in. I was like, yeah, this sounds good. The only problem I had with it then was like, well, the game is balanced for the original gameplay. When you start adding these things, it's going to be way too easy.
There's my press pack of it. Fox and Forest. Yeah. It'd be pretty hard for me to go and interview him now because he sent that to me in exchange for a review I never did.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's because I played it and I'm like, oh man, this ain't that great. I mean, it's like a 6, maybe.
Well, see, you gave it better than I did.
It's just, I mean, it's like, I don't know.
No,
it's a game that's okay, but I don't want to finish it. Like,
I feel you on
that.
There is a level select code that you can use to get right to the end.
I mean, I'm probably all right if I'm honest.
It sometimes works, but more often than not, nah, not for me. What do you guys think? Out of these 10 commandments, what are the best and the worst? As the internet became a wash of videos and articles trying to decipher the confusing commandments, Tommy started jumping on more and more podcasts and YouTube channels. He confirmed a few new games on the Level 857 podcast.
Like Bump and Jump, Burger Time, Lock and Chase, and they're being worked on now. So,
speaking of Level 857, isn't that the podcast that Tommy went on and swore on his sister's grave?
I think it is. Yeah.
I don't think you included that in the video.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Willie already said he didn't want to get into his sister.
He brought it up though, like no one said anything. Tommy just like volunteered it. Like if there's lag on the controller, I swear on my sister's grave. There's nothing like Tommy. Wow,
it hurts me hearing that. It really does. Like, man, I don't know. It hurts me to hear that. How can you say that?
Fucked up.
It is. That's what I was like. And again, it wasn't like he was on a friendly podcast. There was no pushback. He just offered it up. And you're like, whoa. Everyone was like, damn, that was like calm down, Tommy.
Whoa.
It's not that serious, right? Like is 857 the 3? Yeah, it's those guys that are on the screen right now, Gary.
I can tell you that we're talking to Sega.
He confirmed that the company will be going into manufacturing in only 5 months.
We go into manufacturing in March. Okay. So by June of next year, E3 of next year, we'll be doing a big press conference at E3 and unveiling every secret.
This is that first office. It looked like it was in like the back of a pizza joint or something, doesn't it? That first one they started showing around. Am I right? Yeah, like that should have been the office from until the thing's released and they're doing well. They
Exactly.
moved up and out of this office at all. I mean, honestly, his house is big enough. They should have just had a fucking room in there, really. But
I don't understand why
we've always
Smash.
said like Tom.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we've always said like Tommy was like cosplaying as CEO. Like he wanted to have these 4 offices. He wanted to look the part, and exactly like I had always said, like my parents started a company and they worked out of their house for quite a long time until they were able to start turning a profit, and then began to expand and then get offices. Like he wanted the whole shebang from the get go.
I'm gonna push back on you, Hammock Man. One,
Do it.
We'll see here. One, in order to get those grants from Germany, they needed a German office, and we say the word
They had to
German
look
office,
good.
right? We say German office, and the idea is you think of a building with chairs and desks, but the German office was literally just a mailbox that they got mail delivered to in Germany.
True.
do you reckon that's the
But
same
did
for
they
the
need that
China
massive?
office?
Their massive.
Yeah.
Did they need the massive office though in California with all the
No.
custom painting and all the expensive
I
chairs and all?
said- I
That's what
said
I'm
on the
talking about.
I said this on the Review Tech USA stream. Like one of the times I really felt like I made it as a YouTuber, because obviously I grew up like he did with Intellivision, with Sega. Like Sega was my baby. I love it. The vast majority of my history videos are based on Sega properties. When I got invited to go to the Sega offices to meet people there, I got out of the off the train. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And I looked over the bridge and I saw this big, massive grey building and it had a big blue Sega logo on it. And I was just like, I was tearing up. Like, this is me. Like, I've made it. I've made it. Like, this is my 10-year-old self is like
that's cool.
screaming inside. And I went in there. And like, it's cool, you know, they've got like big Sega branding across this door, and you go in and there's like in the cafeteria area, there's like the whole wall, like there's like Jet Set Radio artwork and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's office desks and office desks and office desks. Nothing looked as beautiful as what Tommy had in that Amico building. That looks like some kind of like crazy Google building. Like that looks so much more lush than the Sega offices that I've been to, in all honesty. Just not as many people in it.
That's crazy.
The Salt Lake City office, the one in Utah, that was opened because California was locked down and they were doing quote unquote testing. Right. The testing that DJC and Mike Mullis are doing now is the testing they were supposed to be doing in the Salt Lake City, Utah office. So I don't know what they're doing now or what they did then. This right here, why Smash is not more upset about this. Tommy sat there and told them in 5 months we're going to start manufacturing. And then that never happened.
I'm sure he's pretty pissed.
Because if you're manufacturing, that means everything.
Is the one YouTuber that I think.
The one YouTuber that
I was just gonna say Smash JT is the one YouTuber that looks like that he did kind of make look like a doofus. Like the when you said like, oh, and then he came out with this video, it's changed his tone a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, they actually on one of the email blasts out from, I want to say Republic, I'm almost certain it was Republic, they actually put, and this is how I found it, because Smash JT, he was awesome. If I asked for it, he would have sent it to me. He sent me like the screenshot and he showed me like the stats on the video for the 10K. I've invested 10K video that he eventually like unlisted. But yeah, I found an email blast that Intellivision had sent out that had a link to that video. So it was literally like Intellivision saying, look, this guy's just invested 10K. You can too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we actually brought that up to
Slimy
during the whole Amico war, if you will. We had brought those kind of things up to these people, and they were like, well, we don't, what do you talk about? We didn't tell people to invest, or we didn't coordinate. I said, your videos are being used by Tommy in official emails and stuff to court investors, right? He's using your stuff. They just didn't they couldn't understand it. Saggy Melons. love Segue, but like they used her voice in a video talking about it was everyone's first reaction to playing the Amico, and Saggy Melon's voice is in that, and I'm like, Saggy, you didn't play the Amico. Yeah, but what does it matter? I said, but people who watch this that have no idea what's going on, else that talks in that video played the Amico, and they said positive things about it. You say positive things about the Amico, and you've never played it at that point. They're not going to understand the difference. They're going to assume that you also had played the Amico. She couldn't understand it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes their brains just didn't work when it came to
I read that wrong.
She was under the spell. They were under the spell, dude. That's like I'm saying she's waking up. What'd you say?
He read
earlier.
wrong?
She said she just watched.
I won't say what I read. Don't worry. But what Adam Wilson just wrote, I was like, Saggy's what? Oh, don't worry.
They use Saggy's period.
Oh my god, gross.
I was like, what the hell? Oh, okay.
You're tired. It's early over there.
3:30. Yeah. It's fine, man. I'm buzzing.
3:30. His video hit 100K.
Hell yeah. We're just waiting for that fat check from Slopes because he bought us all.
So the way it works for me, and I explained it to Review Tech, you're saying he had the same issue as well. I used to get really good views on my channel, like all the time on every video. And I started streaming on the main channel. And the way this is theorized between me and other YouTubers, but we've tried to work it out ourselves, and it's kind of proven by ourselves, but you know, take it for a grain of salt still, I suppose. When you upload a live stream, I say this as you are doing this thing, but when you do a live stream on your channel, YouTube, I don't know if it's still the case, but YouTube look at that as a upload. So when I do a video, let's say one video does 100K, and then I do a live stream that's 5K, they're going to promote the next video 50K or 49K or whatever it is, that amount of promotion, because that's the average. So all of the live streaming I did for an entire year, because I was a fucking idiot and didn't look at the stats properly, but the live streaming I did for an entire year almost killed my channel. I mean, it wouldn't have killed my channel, I still would have done it, but you know what I mean, like it really took a massive nosedive. Now the way you repair your channel is by putting out a video that's just going to go boom, and then leave it. That's why I didn't do the video as a part series. Also, primarily because I couldn't find good points to cut it into 4 pieces. There's no good cliffhanger, at least with like the Pac-Man series. I've done everything from the arcades, and then I went to everything with the consoles. So there was a nice cut. And with the Castlevania series, the reason I cut that is because I'd done all of the original games from the NES, and then it started with Symphony of the Night for part 2. So I was like, that's a cool way to do it. With this, I'm just like, where's the cut?
I would have did it year by year.
Well, yeah, you would have done that, but the problem is, when you release a video, it does really well, and then when you do part 2, YouTube's no longer promoting part 1 as much. So part 2 is going to earn half as much, and then when you do part 3, they're definitely not doing part 1 anymore, and part 2 is getting even lower, and no one's going to be clicking on part 4 first. And by that point, it's just it's pissing in the wind. It's gone, you know. It's like farting in a fan factory. It's gone.
I'm no YouTube expert. We only got 1,100, 1,200, something like that. But from my understanding, part of the reason why the live streams were killing everybody's channel was because of the watch time. YouTube had put a lot of emphasis on watch time, and what would happen was, so you would put up a live stream, and like you said, it would be counted as a video. So someone would come in and they would watch, say, 10 minutes of your live stream. Well, it's a 4-hour live stream. So now YouTube's going, well, what percentage of that video got watched, right? And they go, oh, people are only watching 2%, 5%, 4% of his videos, so we're not going to promote him as much. Whereas other people who were putting out 10-minute videos and people would watch the whole thing, well, YouTube's like, they're watching the entire video. That's 100%. That's a good channel. That's a channel that makes consistent videos, and people are liking that.
What aren't you happy about my Castlevania video, Obsessive Compulsive Gamer? Fuck you, Slopes, opening my Fresh Wounds Castlevania. Is that something I've missed?
What?
So we're doing 52 game a year challenge. Can you beat 52 games? in a year?
Yeah, I've done that before.
So Gary started playing the Castlevania games, and he's having some issues beating them.
Sure.
He's
They're
start with some
not
easier ones like I did.
Yeah, they're not. That's not an easy game to add to your 52 challenge. For me, when I did it, it was like main games, like arcade games, and I remember one of them was Super Mario Pinball or whatever it's called.
Yeah, well, Gary's insisted because Gary's hard-headed. He's like, well, I'm going to beat games that are better than your games aren't as good as the games I'm going to beat, and we're going to look at the list, and I'm going to have real games on there. We're like, okay, Gary.
Gary is the Tommy of the game.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I got one of my games is Wheel of Fortune. I'm counting that as a victory.
How'd you complete that though? How'd you complete Wheel of Fortune? There's no. Where's the final?
Well, I went up to I go against the computer, and I made it through the end, and I had to solve the final puzzle. I count that as a victory.
You got to win.
There you go.
Hey, 52 games, you got to have some freebies in there.
Yeah, sure, man.
I beat real games. I beat Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4.
I've got the Mega Man collection for the Switch. Bloody hard games, aren't they? The originals.
You know what? They're not. I went when I was a kid. I was like, "Oh my!"
I'm going to push back here, so.
Yeah, no, but they were hard, and then I played it.
Good impression. Good impression.
I was like, "Man, this game is not as hard as I remember it."
Mm-hmm.
I beat the first Mega Man. I want to say in first try. I went in. I mean, it wasn't like no death run, no hit run like some of these crazy people, but I beat it within my first try.
Slopes, you said some very unfair and unflattering things in your video. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Amico Bros is a troll.
Amico Bros a troll.
Yeah. See now Gary's like Mega Man is easy.
Mega Man is not easy. I'm sorry, but it's not like super hard, but it's not easy.
Easy is like Castle of Illusion
for me,
or something like that. You know, like
exactly
Mega Man isn't. I mean, fair play if you're good at it. But you don't need to lie, Tony. I've said this before. Stop exaggerating. Yeah, there's a nugget of truth there, and you need to stop it.
Not me.
Yeah.
Tony Talarico.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I realized as I was saying it, I'm like, this is unoriginal.
Some of the stuff I told you, some of the stuff I haven't told you. That'll all be revealed next June. But just so you know, though, we go into manufacturing in March. Yeah.
We can also add Boulder Dash to the list. To celebrate exactly 1 year until launch day, the company uploads a video showing off the accuracy of the Amico controller.
Do you know what my next complete history is?
Boulder Dash.
Yeah. And I'm working with BBG on it. BGG on it.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I mean the script is done. What's quite funny is I've spoken to you see him in one of the Amico videos, Stefan, about it because he's taken it over, but primarily it's me looking at the history back when what's the name of the company, First Star, looked after it. What was quite funny today, as in yesterday for me, someone from BBG messaged me and goes, I've just seen someone's just told me to go check out this Amico video. I watched it, and at the end you said about Boulder Dash. I'd love to work with you on that, and I'm like, I'm kind of already working with you guys. They didn't realize. Yeah, that's quite cool. I've made a contact for the Boulder Dash complete history off the back of this somehow.
Tommy's gonna be very happy about that. Ninja Kitty wants to know: can you reveal the truth? Do you shave between your eyebrows as per?
Oh my god, I loved hearing that. I'll give him. My arms are flipping hairy, but no, I do not shave between my eyebrows. Do you want a close up of the center of my eyebrows? There is no shaving going on there. You can probably see that there is hair in between my eyebrows. There is no shaving going on at all.
Again, we don't need to lie. We don't need to lie, Slopes. There's a nugget of truth. He doesn't shave. He plucks. He plucks them.
I shave.
Did DVD Fever actually say that?
Yeah.
DVD Fever made that claim that you shave your eyebrows.
It's like what? Where
he also said that Slopes is jealous of his channel because his channel has more views, total views, on his channel than on Slopes' extra.
I know. I am definitely jealous of DVD Fever.
That dude puts out like a fuck ton of videos. It's just video just cranks them out.
Mm-hmm. I'm upset he didn't watch. He hasn't watched the video because there was a little nugget towards him in the video, which obviously he's not going to see if he doesn't watch it.
Oh,
No
now,
one's
now he
picked up
will.
on it.
Now that he's heard you say that, he'll
I
watch
hope
it.
he. I hope he does. I hope he does. I would very much look forward to watching it because what's great about it is, people are going to him. No, you should watch it. Actually, it is really good. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking. You know, like, yeah, whatever. I like it. I knew it's one of those things that you know you're not going to win him over. That it's fine. He's butthurt because a lot of people don't. A lot of other YouTubers don't want to talk to him.
Yeah. He's butthurt with us because he kept going into the Amico, the Intellivision _Amico subreddit. I was the head mod, and I told him, I said, dude, you can't just come in here and drop links to your videos. Oh, well, they're Amico related. I said, yes, but Reddit has, you get 20% of your shit. It's got to be not related to promoting yourself, right? There's a self-promotion rule. I said, you can't just do this. Like, interact with the community, right? We're not just here to watch your videos. Interact with the community. He told me, no, I'm going to just drop my links. I said, all right, you drop another link without interacting, and I'm going to ban you for 3 days. He tested me, and I banned his ass for 3 days.
He is an interesting character. He is a seriously interesting.
No Square Gamer says, ask BBG about the Amico games they licensed.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, it won't be part of that video, but I am going to try and have a little private convo with him and see what he wants to talk about. He's very open. He's very open. It seems like a genuinely freaking awesome guy as well.
Seems like another dude that got taken advantage of.
That's it, isn't it?
Tamu Amico says Slopes is the goddamn Amico hero, like Rambo coming back to save the POWs after the war's over. You just saying that because he put your song, you mentioned your song in the video.
I'm not joking. Like, so my wife would give me instructions about to do something like, you know, like, can you pick up the kids at whatever time, or I don't know, like insert random errand here, and then I would like, okay, yes, and I'm staring at her, and I'm like staring through her, and I can see Tommy Talarico because it's all I'm thinking about and all I'm doing, especially within the last month of editing. And I'm just, I would go to bed and I'm just laying there going, chilling. I was just like, I couldn't.
In the hot tub.
It's a fucking tune.
It is.
It's a fucking tune. I love that song. Ever since I discovered it, it's a daily listen. It's a tune. I love it.
Mike Hawkhurst says, hi guys, Slopes, your video is amazing. I keep playing it at work.
Cheers, man.
He helped you get to 100,000. You didn't mention that. That was another thing that you didn't mention. Tommy actually was on Atari, and he told those people to watch the videos and refresh them so that they would get more views on their Amico videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I remember hearing him reading that.
That was insane. Also, the curating the comments. That's what got me and Tommy to fight to begin with.
Yeah, it was tough for me because even though I went through, I'm not trying to big myself up or make it sound like I did more than I did, but I genuinely did read every single page of that Amico Age forum. You know, originally Atari Age forum, but it isn't everything. It isn't everything because several thousand of hundreds even of the pages at the end are missing, and then there were also different areas of the forum that I didn't have access to. So,
yeah, there was the independent Amico discussions that got started that got closed.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would see messages in obviously like the Reddit forums. The Amico. Intellivision _Amico Reddit subreddit, and a few other places that people were sharing like Amico games and stuff like that, and they would show a link, and I'm like, where did they find that? And I'm looking at the date, and I run back myself. I'm like, that isn't here, and I'm like, well, obviously there's more that I'm not seeing that's either being deleted or it's in another part of the forum that I don't have access to. So even though I went through every page, and it literally took exactly 5 days to do it, of nothing, but I got a cramp in my finger where I was just like, literally, right, just rolling. Oh, there's that fucking gold disc. There it is. What's he talking about now? Yeah, like it's insanity that, as without blowing my own trumpet, as in depth as my documentary is, it's almost the tip of the iceberg from what I was able to get hold of. It's bonkers.
Also, there was
It is
no
nuts, dude.
He didn't have laggy. He didn't have laggy in the video.
No.
The Amico mascot.
Laggy McLoad face.
Yeah. Or Loady McLag face. Now, Slopes don't
Loady
know.
McLag face. That's it. Yeah.
What happened was in the documents that got leaked.
Amico lost media. Yeah, maybe we could do like a maybe in the future, instead of doing like a director's cut, that's like this is what, you know, like all of the extra bits, the DVD special features or something.
You know what?
Sorry,
I'm gonna show it because fuck it, because why not? And we'll get the live stream taken down by Intellivision. We already got one strike from them. Might as well get another.
Have you actually?
Yeah, for showing
All
what
right.
I'm about to show you right now.
Okay, go 2 for 2 then.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Show me privately. I'm okay. Like,
I'll send it to you privately. So basically, in the
Yeah, there you
documents,
go.
in the documents, there's a little like GIF of an Amico face. It's like an Amico with eyes and like a robot, and it says loading on the screen, right? And just kind of
Right.
goes across the screen. So we were like, oh, this must be the Amico mascot. So people started putting it in different videos and stuff, and Intellivision would go around striking all their videos.
Sure.
And they tried to strike a live stream that I did, and YouTube actually sided with me. But then I did a separate video where I highlighted a tweet from somebody that had that GIF, and Amico they struck me, and I got one channel strike. For that.
You never know how it's going to work with YouTube. I have, for like patrons, I upload my videos onto a second channel, like that's like hidden. There's like nothing there. It's all unlisted videos, just so I can show people like early versions without adverts and stuff. And I upload that, and sometimes that video will get a strike. You know, not suitable for all advertisers. You know, like strike on it, and then the same video will get striked on my main channel. I'll send them both in, and one will get okayed and the other one won't. It just depends who's looking at it. If it's a human reviewer.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? All right, let's carry on.
Disc and a brand new website where you can buy augmented reality and RFID shirts. According to Tommy himself, they end up selling over 500 of these bad boys within only a few days. He confirms that he is talking to Konami to get Tutankhamun reimagined for the Amico. He gets stopped as he boards a flight, and it's revealed he has the Amico test units in his hand luggage. And then
Again, I suspect that Tommy always gets stopped after the $100,000 snafu that he did, which isn't mentioned in his video. But I'm pretty sure that he's on a list now, and that they just stop him whenever he goes through the airport or through customs.
That's really interesting.
Probably.
Yeah, I never saw that. Thank God I didn't see that, because that would have made it into the video.
Then they would have struck your video. Yeah, well, here's the thing, and I can't prove this because the forums had got taken down and everything, but somebody had actually uploaded that GIF to the Atari Age forums because they found the same backlink into the developer docs. And then Tommy's like, hey, you need to take that down. And they removed it, and they edited their post, and so it's gone. And this was like months before Sam from Ars Technica had did his expose on the developer docs. So someone had actually busted into the developer site months before the big expose where someone had busted into the developer site. So they knew that there was a breach. They knew that it was possible to get into it, and they did nothing for months.
Mental. What's insane is like you can almost understand it if this happened. I mean, it still would be bad, but it would make more sense if this happened to the Atari VCS, because even though that's a legendary name, more so than Intellivision, it didn't have the star power that Intellivision had. Like, these were a little bit like, yeah, we'll make an Atari console, and it was like kind of the new kids on the block trying to make a new console for Atari, where Intellivision, David Perry and all these the Avengers of the video game scene, as he puts it, These mistakes shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't be uploading videos that spell peak as the top of a mountain instead of a sneak peek. And
well, that was a double entendre. Didn't you see Tommy's explanation?
Yeah. I do remember seeing it. I can't remember, but yeah. Is this something? Maybe it's because I'm tired. What have I missed in the chat? People are saying like they like the logo. Why don't I like the logo? What logo don't I like? Slopes, why don't you like the logo? Amico, bro.
Oh, don't anything Amico bro says. Don't.
No, because someone else says I like the look of it. But I don't know what it is, but yeah, I thought I like the Amico logo. If that's what you're talking about, I don't know.
The logo is erotic. That's why I want my Amico.
The Amico logo. No, I like it. Slopes Gaming, did you know Atari is now doing crowd investments through Republic? No, I didn't. That is new information to me. That's new information to me. That's fucking hilarious.
VCS video incoming.
I actually got sent a VCS over a year ago now. I said I'd do a video and I haven't. Not from the company, from like a fan of the show. And maybe I need to get on that.
The other thing that you missed, now that I'm thinking about it, because
pushing back.
It's not pushing back, but it's on Atari Age, there was a lot of positive posters, right? That people were posting very positively. Then it was discovered that one of those people actually worked for the company and had not disclosed it. That he was pretending.
Was that the avatar of Cloudy Mountain?
No. This was way before. This is like when Tommy first showed up.
Oh, okay. In that case, I didn't know this, what you're saying.
Yeah, because what ended up happening was the guy ended up posting one of like an office picture, and someone was like, wait a minute, why is there an Amico logo or something in the background?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's because I worked there. Like, what do you mean you worked there? You've been like pretending like you didn't work there.
You know, this sounds familiar. It's in something you might have told me, but I didn't find this out. Yeah. But yeah, okay, that would have been good for the video for sure. So. Slopes video, did you cook the egg that your wife tossed in your face? No. Here's something interesting. Watch that bit again. You will notice there's an egg on the floor. And the reason for that is me and my wife were having a typical husband and wife argument. Like, I had a really bad headache that day because I just wasn't sleeping properly because I was working on this and probably dreaming about Tommy Talarico and singing the Ouya Amico songs. But like, So I said, right, so this part of the video, I need. Can you just quickly hit me with an egg? And she's like, what? And she was a bit stressed out that day. And she's like, why am I hitting you in the face of an egg? I'm like, yeah, I need you to hit me in the face of the egg because there's this whole thing. I have egg on my face. And she's like, what do you mean egg on your face? I'm like, do you not know what that means? And I had to explain. And we're getting a bit shouty and moody at each other. And she's like, well, I don't want to hit it because all the egg's going to go on that big picture behind you, which is something to do with her dad that passed away. And I'm like, well, no. I'll make sure I lean a bit forward. And if you hit me dead on, then the egg won't go behind me. And we had this big thing about how you're going to hit me with the egg. And I've got a banging headache. And then for some reason, she comes up to me, grabs the egg with a fist, and then just punches me in the side of the face. And it just and it doesn't break. And it just drops. I'm like, the fuck have you done? Like, I've got the blistering headache. And now it really hurts. And you would see, if you watch that video, there's a broken egg on the floor. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, right, just get the egg and just palm it to my head.
Eggs are expensive. That's $1 prop for egg.
She's like,
eggs are very expensive.
Yeah, she goes, you're wasting all my eggs. I'm like, well, don't just punch me in the side of the head then. And that was that whole thing took longer than it needed to. And yeah, by the end we was like laughing, and that wasn't me putting it on. By the end we was actually just pissing ourselves laughing, like, yeah. And then she did it. Wow, yeah, if you watch that, there's an egg on the floor because she punched me in the side of the head. Originally, it was going to be me. I'm sorry, it was going to be me in a firing line, and I was going to have all my mates come around and just go fucking pummeling with me with eggs. But I was just like, let's just do it.
It's too expensive.
Look how far we are into this video. This is going to be like these streams are going to go on forever.
It's all about me.
Wait, it's not my fault. He made
it. It's not Tony's fault. He's just the guy moaning that it's 4 hours long and moaning that I every single possible instance that I forgot to add something.
Yeah, it's like, well, now this.
To be fair,
this is typical.
I'm going to push back.
But I mean, we got to make sure that we transform the video. We don't want to get copy strike from Slopes. Just
Copyright strike by Slopes.
No,
yeah,
you won't get any copyright.
We got to give our critique.
Well, originally I was just gonna do a highlight where I was like, okay, we'll take a couple minutes from here, a couple minutes from here, and talk about like 6 or 7 points in the video, and then at some point it just became a watch party, and we're off to the races.
Well, you know, Amico news is, especially with like 2020 and 2021, there was stuff happening almost weekly, and more so in some instances, especially on Atari Age. It was just, oh man, that was such a nightmare going through all that. So I'm straightening my eyebrows that I shave. Now there's not as much. So yeah, nice big 4-hour video. That should fill the void until the next nothing happens. There's been an email update, and oh my god, nothing's come from it.
Well, you got to give the people what they want. We got 48 people here watching. Make sure you like the video. So,
I prefer H Bomber guy as well. I think you've done a fucking fantastic video.
Amico Pro again.
I'm of two minds, right? I do like the H Bomber guy video, but I'm still kind of upset that he specifically did not include things because of political bias.
So. The H Bomber guy video is different. The H Bomber guy video is different though. Like this is he didn't focus on the Amico as much, so it's different.
I suppose one thing I do notice going back and seeing this now and seeing other people talk about it, I kind of went in there with the impression that you've seen it. Like I say things like he's worked on over 300 games, and it goes to my face apparently, and it just carries on. I don't explain that he hasn't actually worked on 300 games because that's not what my focus is on. My focus is on the Amico.
Yeah, I think I said that yesterday because I think Tony brought that up actually.
Yeah,
I think I said,
oh, okay. I actually haven't watched yesterday's one yet.
I do. You know me.
He pushed back. He pushed back.
It's the
just a little.
It's the tism.
It is. And Tommy didn't know what he was getting into when he signed up for that interview. It's like 3 hours too.
Well, I said to him many times, even privately. Not again. I don't want to bring up too much what we talked about privately, but one of the things we did say is like he would constantly tell me that he wants the video to be made, and I said, look, regardless if it comes out, I'll make the video because when this thing comes out and it's a huge success or whatever, like it's this whole story leading up to this, which is so fascinating. And I mean, he knew this video was coming, like for sure. Like I always told him I would make this video.
And he said he was going to help you with it.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he said that. And I'll help you make it. I remember, I can see him saying that, but I couldn't find that clip. It doesn't matter. I found an equally as good clip where it's like, tear me apart. Okay.
Right. Let's see what else we got. If we can make another 5 minutes through this video.
Ending that on the 16th of October 2019 on the awesome Retro Asylum podcast, Tommy says for the first time,
like a lot of hardcore gamers hate mobile games. I hate mobile games. Why? Do you feel threatened that other people are getting enjoyment who aren't like you? Isn't that being, in a way, racist? Are you a gaming racist?
Not
to
push back too much. But that wasn't the first time that
time he said it. Yeah, as I was writing, I was like, I knew you would say that.
But I mean, you didn't want to bring up all of the extra stuff.
Which is no, it's why I said, as far as I'm aware, or something to that effect. I said something like, from what I could find, this was the first time. I said something like that.
Yeah. You know
Be
what?
Careful with your wording.
We're gonna go ahead. Hammock Man's got to bounce. And
yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
I think we should just end it here. 2 hours and 45 minutes approximately.
Yeah, you should probably kick me off so I actually do go to bed.
Yeah. See,
it's 4 o'clock in the morning there.
We're kicking everybody off. Leave them wanting more. We got 48 people. We're gonna pick this up once more tomorrow, and we're gonna try to power through it tomorrow.
Slopes, as per DVD Fever, do English folks not wear brown trousers, or are you the only one who does? Am I wearing them now? No,
Is that the thing he said for real?
Genuine, right? So I'm not. They're not brown trousers. Anyway, I was wearing shorts. They were like cardo shorts, and it's like what I'm wearing now. They're just like green shorts. It's just like these, but these are green ones. Like it's like fuck me, man. If you are struggling that hard to criticize me, like, and you're now taking the piss out of the fact that you think I'm wearing brown trousers, like fuck me, like come on. It's so fucking hilarious. It's
20
enjoyable.
minutes.
It's enjoyable. I can't watch them live. I have to double speed them because fuck me, he goes off and starts talking about James Bond. It's just like,
yeah.
But like, yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Hey Slopes, let me know if you want me to make a theme tune for free. Oh wow, yeah. I mean, maybe. Sure,
he made a theme song for our show that I never used.
Yeah, he did. We used it.
Yeah,
for a
I've
while.
heard that. I've heard it. Is it true you've got a second album coming out, Amico? Do you guys know? Is that true, or is he just?
That's what he said.
I never know, like, what's true or not. Like, say crab legs. I don't know why I'm saying this shit.
Crab legs.
I don't know.
If you go back and watch that little music video bit I made for Amico, well, in the video during that section, if you slow it down, there's loads of little bits like that hidden in there. Like you see the guy, the crab legs. He's in there. There's that, is it Pete guy eating pizza and doing the screen, little things like that. And you see
Geeks
you see old
Cash.
Yeah, you see DJ C of his arms like that as well. Little. It goes in and out like a broken VHS tape.
Now we got to go back and slow it down. We got to watch the video at half speed.
During that.
Oh, jeez.
Strap in, gentlemen. We're going to be here for a while. Make some coffee.
Yeah. I've had 2 tonight, and I Amico. Straight in the veins.
He said the third, second album. Most of the songs are already on my channel. Third album in the works. Look at that.
Fuck me.
Damn, Tommy. Damn.
I want to be part of one of these
songs,
boy. I want to be part of one of these songs. I really do. Like, I'm upset that I'm not a part of like the hater games and stuff like that. It makes sense. I wasn't like a hater back then, but I'm not a hater now.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome being in those. It was quite an honor. Gatoroos did as well.
Yeah, he did. Very good. Oh my god, Tommy Talarico. I could make you a theme song too. I had the successful solo on the whole.
Well, he actually did tell a few YouTubers. He's like, "Oh, I'll make you a theme song. Don't worry." Like when he was on their little interview, that never came.
Might have said something like that to me. I might be making that up. I can't remember. We definitely spoke about something like that. I know he said he would help me with my mixtape, as in like the promo side of things.
My goal is to have Slopes wear brown trousers, the stockings from Gelgun, and the panties from the other Switch game, all while donning an Amico t-shirt.
I might buy myself an Amico t-shirt.
They still sell them.
Have you got one?
No, but I have the Cyrus Martin Amico book, my Amico book, and the shell, and all the games.
Yeah, I've got the games.
I got the only complete Amico collection.
Yeah, it is quite cool. Now, I've got a full set of consoles games here. Every single one of the games for that system right here. Physical games. Yeah. I still stand by. I think they're not too bad. I know everyone hates them, but it's easy to hate. I don't think they're that bad for what they are. They're uniform. I'm a bit of a sucker for having all my systems look like all the games in a nice uniform manner. I'm a bit of a sucker for that.
Yeah, if only they closed. Yeah. If you take them out of the plastic, they no longer close.
Yeah, you can be on the second album, Slopes. Do you want me to do a little rap for you? You've had DJ C raps, and you can have a DJ Slope rap.
Oh, yeah. You can have a rap battle.
Fuck me, no, I can't. I'm not bringing myself into this one. I could potentially. No, I'm not going to be a fucking rapper. I'll fucking out DJ the man. But does he DJ?
I have no fucking idea.
DJ C Game Studio.
It's devastating just cause. So I don't think he's an actual DJ. It's not like DJ C.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So we're at 2 hours and 50 minutes. Hammock Man bounced in the middle of our conversation because his wife is yelling at him.
Right.
Slopes needs some sleep. We made it 30 minutes. Everyone says it was 20 minutes. We made it like 30 minutes through the video. So 2 hours and 40 minutes. We made it 30 minutes through Slopes' video.
Yeah, I will not be jumping on tomorrow night's stream. I'll be passing out at about 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Awesome. So, 4 more streams and we'll be about halfway done with Slopes' video.
Yeah. This is what I was expecting DVD to be doing, like several streams like this. But alas, this is not to be.
He doesn't got the stamina for it. He can't handle.
Yeah.
DJC and Tony need to hug it out. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Wouldn't be prudent. Not going to happen. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You know how we do it here. Love, peace, and booty grease. We out this bitch.